This is Little League World Series with the brand new sound. We started up, we never let it stop. We going, yeah, you know how we do it. Summer forever. It's the sunshine shining down on your face. It's the good times that never go away. So come on, there's nothing better. I want summer forever. Let's keep it going now. I wish that it could be summer forever. We started up, we never let it stop. Keep it going, yeah, you know how we do it. There's something going on, something going on.
Struck him out swinging. Back-to-back hits. It's not over.
Like it's never gonna end. It's the reason.
This one is deep to right field, and Reynolds ends up on third.
There's nothing better. I want summer forever.
This one into right, and it drops.
I wish that it could be summer forever.
It's the Little League World Series. Anything can happen.
The Little League World Series where anything can happen, and yesterday that's exactly what happened. Welcome to ESPN's continuing coverage of the Little League World Series, brought to you by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. There it is, the field of dreams for 16 Little League teams, 8 from the U.S., 8 from across the globe. And today is Elimination Saturday, our first day of weekend play at the Little League World Series in 2016. 4 games on tap. All of these games are crucial because the losers of the 4 today will be eliminated from championship contention. A few rules to get you started. Of course, 16 teams are here, 8 U.S., 8 from across the world, all players between the ages of 10 and 13. Games are 6 innings in length, and it is Little League, so everyone plays here. Hello again, so good to see you again, and welcome to South Williamsport, Pennsylvania. It is Elimination Saturday. We are now 1/4 of the way through the tournament. 8 games have been played. We'll play 32 in total. Eventually, we'll get a winner from the U.S. side, a winner from the international side, and a week from tomorrow, they will meet for the 2016 Little League World Series Championship. Let's get you caught up to speed from yesterday's games and a couple of terrific performances. First of all, Canada stuns Japan. Their first opening day loss since 1965. Loretto Sensculchi was terrific both on the mound and with the bat. And JT Garcia powers Iowa past U.S. Power California. His mom battling cancer, here to watch that home run. And South Korea still perfect here at the Little League World Series, 12-0 now after they beat Curacao 3-0. And in the late game last night, Devin Obey helps Kentucky get past Texas 11-1. He was 2 for 3, including that solo home run. So here's where we stand now. Again, all the teams that are 1-0 will take the day off. That's a benefit of winning in your opening round game. All of the teams you'll see here today are fighting for their Little League World Series lives. 4 games in total. Let's take a look at the slate. Our first game will be on the international side. Mexico will take on Italy, then Oregon and Rhode Island. That one is at 3 East on ABC. And then back on ESPN, Japan, Curacao, and California, Texas will wrap it up tonight at 8 o'clock. But for the call of Game 1, let's send it over to Dave Fleming, John Kruk, and Marisol Castro. Dave?
All right, Jay, thanks very much. Good to be with you here today. What a beautiful scene at Volunteer Stadium. And the first of those elimination games, our matchup on the international side, the team from Mexico against the team from the Europe-Africa region, the kids from Emilia, Italy. Quite some scenes before the game. Hi, everybody. Dave Fleming alongside John Kruk. All right, it's elimination day. You figure that teams might be a little uptight. Their Little League World Series championship hopes are on the line, and yet you look at those images, maybe not.
It's harder on the coaches and parents. The kids, they're just out here to play baseball and have some fun.
And I think that's a good thing on both sides. Now for Mexico, this is a team that has a great pedigree in this event. They have real championship hopes. Victor Juarez may be the key if they're going to get those started here today.
Well, without question, and so important to this team in so many different ways. You know, had the only 2 hits they had against Panama. He got those 2 hits in their opener, but he brings some leadership and some fun to this team.
caro estoy pagando haberme enamorado tan perdidamente y ese fue el detalle. Yo no me daba cuenta de tus intenciones, poco a poco más guardé mis ilusiones mientras tú jugabas con otros brazos y otra piel.
All right, so he can hit and he can sing. And I think we have our answer about, are these kids a little uptight on Elimination Day? The answer seems to be no. Meanwhile, on the Italian side, John, this is not the big sport in Italy. These kids are still just learning the game. But I thought in their opener on Thursday, even though they lost, I thought they showed some really nice fundamentals.
Yeah, without question. And that's the first thing as coaches you have to teach young kids who haven't played a lot of baseball are the basic fundamentals. And they did it perfectly in their first game. You see the pitcher here gives up a base hit. What's he taught? You got to back up home in case there's a bad throw. Airmail throw. He makes a play. Then communication is another key. We see collisions all the time, but you see the shortstop for Italy calling everyone off. They get away from him. He makes a play. Then, of course, their left fielder with a great diving catch coming in on the ball. The fundamentals are there for Italy, but can they put it together to compete in this Little League World Series?
So that question and some others will be answered when we come back. Game 1 of 4 today from Williamsport. First pitch, Mexico, Italy, right after this.
Little League World Series is presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes cereal. They're great, and in part by the Odyssey from Honda, official vehicle of Little League. And Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
So it's Saturday in Williamsport, which means 4 games of Little League World Series baseball, plus all the kettle corn you can handle. Mexico and Italy, the first matchup here on an elimination day, and the fans out in full force on the Mexican side from San Nicolas, just outside Monterrey, a city that was founded in 1597. Third largest city in the state of Nuevo Leon. A good group of young ball players. Let's meet the kids from Mexico, brought to you by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
Hola, mi nombre es Diego Cantú y mi jugador favorito es Robinson Cano.
Hola, mi nombre es Gael Cortés y mi jugador favorito es Julio Urias.
Hola, mi nombre es Eduardo García y mi jugador favorito es José Altuve.
Hola, mi nombre es Milton González y mi jugador favorito es Adrián González.
Hola, mi nombre es Patricio Juárez y mi jugador favorito es José Altuve.
Hola, mi nombre es Víctor Juárez, mi jugador favorito Manny Machado.
Hola, mi nombre es José Leal y mi jugador favorito es Dustin Pedroia.
Hola, mi nombre es Raúl López y mi jugador favorito es Salvador Pérez.
Hola, mi nombre es Fabián Mar y mi jugador favorito es Mike Trout.
Hola, mi nombre es José Miranda y mi jugador favorito es José Bautista.
Hola, mi nombre es Luis Nuncio, mi jugador favorito es Yadier Molina.
Hola, mi nombre es Francisco Torres y mi jugador favorito es Dustin Pedroia.
Hola, mi nombre es Alex Treviño y mi jugador favorito es Bryce Harper.
Hola, soy René Villarreal, mi jugador favorito es David Ortiz.
All right, so that's the team from Mexico. Here's the pitcher they will face on the Italian side, Tommaso Adorni. And their manager, John, Marco Bortolotti, told us he may be their best pitcher on their team.
Yeah, and they're going to need him to be their best pitcher if they want to continue on in this Little League World Series. You see the size, 5'10", 151. Watch him warm up. Pitches from the stretch. Looks like he has great mechanics. And it looks like he has a pretty good fastball to go with it.
So big, strong kid on the mound against a team from Mexico that expects to hit, but had a hard time with the bats against Panama in their opening round loss. So here we go. Patricio Juarez leading off for Mexico, and a good first pitch fastball to get this game started.
Yeah, good start for Italy. I'm sure that Adorni has the nerves going for him right now. You get that first strike out of the way. Now we go to play and have fun.
And I think we do talk about that a lot in Williamsport. Big crowd. Totally different setting from what most of these kids are used to, and those early moments of every one of these games can be nerve-wracking.
Yeah, you see them before the game, they're all dancing and having a good time, but you have to understand that once they say the umpire says play ball, there's got to be a ton of nerves, especially early in the game.
So Juarez with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Foul one back, it's 1-2. Mexico lost to a good Panamanian team 10-2, only with the 2 hits. Victor Juarez had both of them. We talked about that right off the top. But it's a team, they feel like they have more balance than they showed against Panama.
Yeah, they're always been a team that competes well here in Williamsport. But again, Panama just had some dominating pitching.
pitching can be the difference maker at this level, at any level. Well,
2-2,
guys. Yeah, we do believe that is Patricio's dad, although with the mask on.
Thank goodness there's not a family resemblance. It's the mask on.
Foul ball, still 2-2. A lot of spirit on that side of Mexico, where all of the basically all of the parents have traveled here, and it took some of them a long time, a 3-day bus ride.
I just don't know how you can not be here. Watch your kids compete in the Little League World Series.
2-2.
And by that I mean, Dave, do anything you can to get here. A lot of times work gets in the way, and I just think if you're running a company or wherever you work, your boss should say, you know what, your kid's playing, go. We'll figure something out here.
Well, I'm with you. And you kind of feel for the Italian kids and their families. 3-2 pitch here. On the ground toward first. Sartini will flip to the pitcher covering. Adorni gets to the bag for out number 1.
And there's those fundamentals we talked about. No hesitation off the mound for Adorni. First baseman Sartini ranges to his right to get this ball, a slow roller. Look at how calm they are. Nothing rushed. Let's not try to be too quick. Let's just record the out. Beautiful play by the Italian team.
And we have given some credit to their manager, Marco Bortolotti. He's a very young guy, but loves baseball. Has been here a couple times as a sibling, as a fan, to watch the Little League World Series. Ball 1 to Gael Cortez. And Marco, I mean, he is passionate about building the game of baseball. He feels like baseball has a chance to really grow in Italy.
And that's the only way you can grow. You have to have someone, an adult, that's passionate about it, about bringing this game to Italy and making it more, of a sport to catch up with the soccer that they play over there. And if they can get that far, he's going to be a big reason why.
A fun guy to talk to, be around. Good fastball for a strike to Gael Cortez.
That's not fair. You get one thrown over your head, and the next one paints the outside.
1 ball, 1 strike. Gael played shortstop in Mexico's opener, was very smooth defensively. So I think we'll watch him make some plays again out there today. He's got a pretty good swing. 1-2.
He was very impressed with Adorni. The fastball's popping in the catcher's glove.
So just getting started on this elimination day, Saturday, the first full weekend of the Little League World Series. The winner keeps their championship hopes alive. 2-2. The last few years we have seen that the team from Mexico, even if they've dropped that first game, there's Gael's mom and dad in the stand. Mexico has done a good job bouncing back, hanging in the tournament. So it's not the same group of kids, but this country's been very persistent in Williamsport.
Well, you can see that they understand what's going on today. They don't win, they're done, but they're dancing before the game. They're singing before the game. I think that comes with confidence, knowing that what you're capable of doing, and one game's not going to define who they are here in Williamsport.
2-2. Struck him out swinging with another one of those good fastballs. Well, there is a lot of history with Mexico in this Little League World Series. The international pool, 8 different regions. Each sends 1 representative each year here to the Little League World Series. And this particular team from San Nicolas, just outside Monterrey, south of the U.S.-Mexico border in Texas. Jose Leal, who's going to be the starting pitcher for San Nicolas Little League. Strike 1 swinging.
These young men from Mexico better start dialing it up a little bit. Late on every swing with his fastball by Adorni.
So far, it does look like this. He may be their most impressive arm, Italy's. Pitch count is always an issue here because of the pitch limits, the mandatory rest, the threshold. So we'll monitor that as we go along.
And I think that's great because, if there was no pitch count, no days off or whatever, you get one dominant pitcher, you can win this thing. Can't now. You need more than one.
There you go. That's a strike. It is a strike. It's 2-2. heard the voice of Jeff Freeze, who is our home plate umpire. What do you think?
He crossed it. Yeah, that's a swing. Good call. Watch the mechanics though by Adorni. Great fielding position after he throws. Of course, he would fire one up and in.
2-2, guys.
You look just how simple pitching from the stretch, the easiest way to go. You look at the land, the flex in the knees, not pitching off a stiff front leg. That means command should be pretty good for him as he bounces another one in there. But, you know, and that again, that goes back to teaching the right way early.
Thank you.
You got some kids on this team from Italy who haven't played a lot of baseball, but good natural athletes learning the game.
3-2.
And that's what we've seen these first couple days, where those fundamentals, the building blocks, the basics are there. Just need some more game experience.
Yes, they do.
3-2 to Leal. Foul it off. Part of it is game experience. Part of it is trying to find some competition to help make you better in a country where there aren't that many kids and teams playing.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a hard thing. You know, you look at the teams from the United States that having to go through districts and regionals and, you know, their state championship. You know, they're playing great competition before they even get here.
3-2.
Teams from Japan, Korea, Panama, you know, they're coming in here probably with this team from Italy with the least experience as far as playing really good teams to get here.
They had to travel to Poland. That Europe-Africa region is so spread out. They traveled to Poland to play the regional tournament. Ultimately defeated a team from the Czech Republic. We've seen the Czech Republic send teams here to Williamsport the last few years. Right back to Adorni, as you said, in that fielding position after finishing the pitch. Had a good start for him as he keeps Mexico scoreless. A half inning in the books in Williamsport. Just underway, scoreless after a half inning in Mexico and Italy on the international side of this Little League World Series bracket. An elimination game from championship contention, and the team from Italy has traveled a long, long way to get here. Emilia Little League in Emilia, Italy, a beautiful part of the country, the capital city in that region. Bologna, great food. How about the automakers, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Maserati? The world's oldest university is there, a place full of history, just not a lot of baseball history. Let's meet the kids from Italy.
Ciao, sono Tommaso Adorni e il mio giocatore preferito è David Ortiz.
Il mio nome è Alessandro Beccari e il mio giocatore preferito è Mike Trout.
Ciao, sono Sema Bouraoui e il mio giocatore preferito è Miguel Cabrera.
Mi chiamo Alessandro Ercolani e il mio giocatore preferito è Mike Trout.
Ciao, sono Samuele Gamberini e il mio giocatore preferito è Salvador Perez.
Ciao, il mio nome è Michele Ghidoni e il mio giocatore preferito è Carlos Correa.
Ciao, il mio nome è Tommaso Ghidoni e il mio giocatore preferito è Bryce Harper.
Ciao, mi chiamo Simone Ioli e il mio giocatore preferito è Roldis Chapman.
Il mio nome è Filippo Laghi e il mio giocatore preferito è Jackie Robinson.
Il mio nome è Gabriele Persici e il mio giocatore preferito è Dustin Pedroia.
Ciao, sono Elia Sartini e il mio giocatore preferito è Miguel Cabrera.
Ciao, il mio nome è Francesco Segreto e il mio giocatore preferito è Jack Pivi.
Ciao, mi chiamo Federico Tiburtini e il mio giocatore preferito è Chris Colabello.
Ciao, il mio nome è Leonardo Zambernardi e il mio giocatore preferito è Luke Gehrig.
And ciao, John Kruk. Here's the pitcher they'll face.
Wow. Well, man after my own heart. 5'8", 158, favorite food, hamburger. How do you not like that? And again, we'll see how pressure gets to some of these young kids. You saw Adorni, you know, didn't get to him at all, but you know, this is do or die for these kids, and they understand that.
Jose Leal, who is the starting pitcher for Mexico against Ioli, Gamberini, Adorni. Strike to get Jose Leal's day on the mound started. Here is Simone Ioli, just 11 years old, one of the younger players in Williamsport. Leal's fastball just misses. You like the catcher?
That was might have been a tad obvious. You know, it's not like a quick catch. And
here's the 1-1.
Watch it. This is not exactly framing 101 for catchers. Pitches up, he catches it, holds it there, and then yeah, that's where it was. Come on, Blue.
That's really trying to sell it. On the ground to first, Trevino for out number 1.
So far, good start for both teams defensively. Pitchers are throwing strikes.
The defense is always such a big part of success in Williamsport. And the ability on the other side to put the ball in play, put some pressure on that defense.
We saw it last night in that Texas-Kentucky game. Texas made 8 errors in that game.
Samuel Gambarini. And he got the first hit. It came in the 6th inning. The kids from Italy faced a very tough pitcher, Clayton Campbell of Australia. And they finally got something going, and they did put a lot of pressure on Australia in the final inning. Ultimately came up short.
This is a big young man, isn't it?
He is. Big, strong kid.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Can play third base, can do some catching. You might see him pitch.
Linebacker.
Pitcher.
Offensive tackle, probably. Sure, he can do whatever he wants.
I think you're right.
I'd like to see that coming down here on a soccer field.
Thank you.
There are probably some kids in Amelia right now who are nodding their heads at what you just said. Yeah, I've seen it.
Ball's up.
1-2 from Jose Leal to Samuel Gambarini. Back up the middle, base hit. They had the first hit for Italy on Thursday as their first hit here on Saturday.
I have a feeling that getting that first hit in the 6th inning gave Gambarini a little bit of confidence coming into this game. That that's the hardest one to get in the Little League World Series, is that first one. In any big pressure situation, get that first one, get out of the way, and now he's rolling.
Look at Mom, who made the long trip here. Bravo.
Bravo, bravo.
Here is our starting pitcher, Tommaso Adorni. Throw back to first. Samuel heads up.
Tell you what, Nuncio has something to throw with too. That ball's right on the money.
He does. He's a spirited catcher. We saw that in their opening round game against Panama. On the count, 71-mile-an-hour fastball. So if the fastball is hard enough, we'll show you that MLB equivalent in terms of the reaction time for the hitter. Adorni in that same 6th inning had a nice solid hit. This is kind of what we're talking about with the velocity equivalent. So 70-mile-an-hour fastball here equals 91 in the big leagues. 77 and above, you're talking triple digits.
That kid from Panama throw 80,
81. So maybe a 105-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, that's fun.
The Canadian starter was so impressive. Loreto Siniscalchi. That's a good breaking ball. And now they've got Gambarini caught in a rundown. Gambarini going to try to get back, but they will tag him out. It's a double play. And Mexico fired up with their defense after 1 inning. No score. Well, the team from Mexico, beautiful part of that great country. Nuevo León, with Monterrey as the capital and the biggest city. All kinds of color and culture. And a great baseball history as well. It's Mexico and Italy here. And for more on the team from Mexico, let's welcome in the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Marisol Castro.
Well, hello, and happy to be here with the fans from Mexico. I'll tell you what, I spoke to the manager before the game started. He said his players were so upset they lost on Thursday. And they said, Coach, Coach, we want to wake up early on Friday morning and go for a run. So 6 o'clock in the morning, they all put on their sneakers and ran for about a good 20 to 30 minutes. After that, they went straight to BP. After that, Coach had a long talk with the catchers. They knew they really needed to work on catching for today. That was going to be the only way they were going to win. And he said, listen, you either stay in this or we go home. My guess is we all want to stay here. They're excited to be here and having tons of fun.
All right, Marisol, thank you. So, Kruk, you down with that? Let's go for a 6 a.m. jog to clear our minds?
Never.
Somehow I wasn't sure that was going to be part of your program.
No, it might be more than I've ever run in my life combined.
20, 30 minutes. Luis Nuncio, we were impressed with his catching ability, and Marisol talking about how sort of one of the leaders of this team. Up over the rooftop. 1-2. Big crowd here at Volunteer Stadium on this Saturday.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Just, you know, this is the first time I've ever done a game for Volunteer Stadium here, and you know, you can see all the practice fields. They're as nice as any fields I've ever seen, and you get these playing fields that are just manicured beautifully.
That one to center field and well hit. Giordani back, and he'll make the catch on the warning track. So Nuncio just missed it, but a good play by Michel Giordani in center field.
We've talked about the fundamentals from this team from Italy. Watch Giordani right here go after this ball, takes a peek at the wall to see where he's at, picks the ball back up, all the while still running toward the ball. That is just a great fundamental play by the center fielder.
I mean, they don't look like a team of kids that has hardly played much baseball at all, do they?
Well, you know, a lot of times it doesn't take kids who are good athletes to figure it out, and that's, you know, they play soccer, they play other sports. They're athletic kids. It's just not baseball. You know, a long time playing the game of baseball, so you know, you can get athletic. It's easier to teach athletic kids than it is to teach kids who are not great athletes the game of baseball.
Well, here's the kid we talked about in the open. Victor Juarez had both of Mexico's hits in their opening round loss.
1 strike.
And he's got a pretty good singing voice, too.
Beautiful voice.
He was
second career, maybe?
I mean, it could be. It's that one to shallow right. Going to be a tough play. And the dive by Ercolani couldn't quite get there. Blue hit for Victor Juarez, his third in Williamsport.
He's having him a good tournament, Victor.
He has. Did he pitch well?
Yeah. This is what you love, the effort. Look at these kids just hustling after the ball. Ercolani makes the great dive and tries to get to it, but you know, the bottom line is the right fielder kept Juarez from going to second base. Keeps a force play out, the double play in order.
We don't see a ton of double plays in Williamsport, but we did see some double plays in the first 2 days. And the defense up the middle has been across the board really good.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the reason is because, you know, there's not a lot of stealing, even though they are allowed to steal. The infielders play deeper. At double, you know, in double play situations, they're deeper, so it takes them a while to get to the bases.
Well, comebacker Adorni will make the throw to first. Not in time. Close play. Miranda's hustle beat it out. Maybe Adorni thought he had a little more time than he did.
Yeah, he kind of took his time. He got to it quick enough, but watch when he steps up to throw. He doesn't get, you know, he doesn't get any velocity on the throw at all to the first baseman. And you know, give Miranda a lot of credit. He didn't stop hustling all the way, and now Mexico's got something working here.
2 on, 1 out. Alejandro Trevino, left-handed hitter. When we had those introductions before they hit in the first inning, Alejandro introduced himself as Alex. So
we'll go with Alex.
We're calling him Alex. Michael Jordan fan, just 11 years old. There are 10 11-year-olds total among the 16 teams. Good chance here for Mexico. Strike one swinging.
Favorite athlete, Michael Jordan.
Isn't that amazing? Michael Jordan was done playing before Alex was born.
We've heard some Babe Ruth, and one said LeBron James.
1-2. Well, Italy, when they introduce themselves, we ask kids who their favorite baseball player is, and a couple Italian kids said Jackie Robinson, one said Lou Gehrig. So they're learning how to play the game. They're learning the history of the game.
Yeah, that's a great thing too. You know, I think a lot of times, even in our country, we sometimes forget the players that came before us.
Great part of this sport. 2-2. All right, so we ask you, everybody, the favorites. The favorite player, Mike Trout was the majority winner. Yankees' favorite team, Drake. No real shock. Pizza, are you surprised by that?
Not really. I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're 12, pizza's kind of the wheelhouse. Struck him out swinging.
I'm sure the vote was skewed by the team from Italy with that favorite food choice.
Yeah, and I think their pizza is often a little different than ours.
I've never been.
Oh, you gotta go.
But
you like pasta?
What a question.
Crucky's tour through Italy. I think we could follow that.
I'd need 3 translators to get through that.
Here's Eduardo Garcia. Ball one inside. Well, the capital of this region, Emilia, Bologna, pasta bolognese. You ever had pasta bolognese, the meat sauce?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, pretty good.
I don't think I've ever eaten anything from Italy, any sort of Italian food that I didn't like.
We need to make this happen. That one just missed. It's 2-0.
In fact, off the top of my head, besides vegetables, I don't think there's anything I've ever eaten that I didn't like either. Not a big broccoli. I say that around the kids.
Yeah, great lesson for all our youngsters. Yeah. Ignore your vegetables, eat more pizza. 2-0 the count, 2 on, 2 out. Eduardo Garcia taking 3-0. I think a fairly small strike zone for Jeff Fries, and maybe Tommaso Adorni a little frustrated by it.
Yeah, he's thrown a couple that could go either way, and they're not going his way. And you can see a little frustration right now.
Hey, did you know, by the way, our home plate umpire for this game, Jeff Fries, friends of Dallas Brayton, our colleague.
I apologize for that. That can't be good.
Dallas is going to be here. Is that tomorrow where he shows up? There's a strike on the inside.
Oh, sorry. 3-1.
He rang him up. He rang him up on strike 1. Not strike 2. He rang him up on strike 1. Jeff.
Yeah, he's thinking about Dallas, worried if Dallas got here yet. You see his Twitter trip?
Yeah, he had a few problems getting here. Dallas taught him everything he knows about umpiring. Strike 1, ring him up.
That is definitely speed up rules.
All right, let's watch this again. Sorry, Jeff. Oh, sorry.
Did you hear it? He did say sorry.
He did?
Yeah. And he looked at the scoreboard. He was like, sorry.
Hey, they are nice enough to wear the microphone, Jeff. We're not.
No, just hey.
We're having a little fun.
I'm sure he's probably laughing inside about that mistake. I'm sure the other umpires are going to have a little fun with him after this one.
Well, our pitching coach for Team Italy does not have a microphone, so ordinarily we do listen in. Giorgio Montanini.
You speak Italian?
No. That's Italian for no.
Pretty sure that we're not going to know what he's saying anyway.
Well, maybe I think in game 1 we kind of pieced it together. So maybe I shouldn't just say outright no.
And
figure it out a little bit.
According to all the other coaches we've heard, I'm sure relax, have fun, throw strikes. I'm sure that's part of the conversation.
Apparently we had an eavesdropper. Up and away was the message to this next hitter. What do you think about that message? With the bases loaded.
Huh?
Play.
Raul Lopez, the right fielder. Bases loaded, 2 down in the second inning. And he hits him. And that will force in a run. And that hurt.
Whoa, be here. Look up right here. Right here. Stay here.
Dorney's going to check on him, make sure he's okay. Obviously, he did not want to do that. Because that's a run. It's 1-0 Mexico. Ouch.
Yeah, that guy, they're right in the small of the back. It's not like Adorney's throwing slow up there either. That got him pretty clean.
Yep, just checking on him, make sure he knows that was not intentional. Raul's thinking, I don't care if it was intentional or not. That hurt.
Every time someone gets hit by a pitch or you get hit by a pitch, you always think it's intentional.
Well, yeah, and then
because it hurts so bad.
Sometimes you hear fans saying, well, what's he upset about? He's clearly not doing it on purpose. Well, how about this? It hurts.
I got hit in the ribs and I was so angry. I didn't know what to go to first base or what to do. It hurt so bad. Former teammate of mine too.
Really?
Daryl Ackerfeld.
And you've clearly gotten over it, forgotten it.
No.
Fabian Mar, by the way, is the hitter. He came in center field after Patricio Juarez hit to start the game. Now Patricio is going to come in as a special pinch runner for Eduardo Gael Garcia.
And here's Juarez. Even though there's 2 outs, here's the danger for Italy right here is the fact that now you turn the lineup back over to the top of their order.
Yeah, Mexico can think about a big inning now. That one close, but ball 1. You got a LeBron James fan, Fabian Mar. His first at bat of this game.
I have a feeling that LeBron at 13 was a little taller than 4'11".
I think he had Fabian by a foot or a foot and a half.
Maybe more than that.
He was already a prospect.
Yes.
13 years old. So the bases are loaded, 1 run in an elimination game on the international side. Good save by Tommaso Giudoni, the catcher today. Trying to help his pitcher along. And Adorney, the pitcher, he's got good stuff. But you can tell he's a little frustrated with the way this second inning has gone.
Yeah, a little frustrated, and you know we talked about how well their defense has played, and he's not giving them a chance right now to do it.
Let your defense help you. On the ground to second, bobbled, picked up, the throw in time. Nice recovery by Alessandro Ercolani. That ball was hit hard, and so Mexico gets a run, but only the one. Middle of the second, they lead 1-0.
You know, they've been calling them like they see them for years. And for these umpires, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Because for them, there's no higher honor than this.
We love our umpires here in Williamsport. Jeff Freeze, the home plate umpire. We were having some fun at his expense last inning. We love you, Jeff. Brent Hicks.
He's a friend of Dallas, so he's got a sense of humor.
Yeah, you have to. Gary DeFabio, Mike Cook, Robert Zepeda, William Freeman, part of this crew. They pay their own way. They're all volunteer. They only get to come here one time in their careers. It's a very special thing, and we really, really appreciate everything they do for Little League.
And they do a great job, too.
They do. Even when they punch out a hitter on strike 1. 1-1 to Gabriel Persicci. He's the right fielder, right-handed hitter. Strike 2. Jose Leal, pretty good command at the start of this game for him. On the ground to third, Victor Juarez, a little bobble. He's got the strong arm, but not quite strong enough. He made a very good throw, but that bobble cost him.
Yeah, that's the beauty of Little League, because the bases are so close. You know, if the hitter has any speed at all, and a great jump out of the box by Brasici, but if you bobble it at all, there's a really good chance you're going to be safe at first base.
Okay, go ahead and take it over to your coach.
And that's one of the reasons why, Crucky, we pump up defense so much, because on these fields they are going to give him a hit. And I think that's the right call, because when you have speed like that, that tiny little bobble makes the difference. I mean, it's almost like a forced error.
Yeah, and that's what you see a lot here, though, in Little League. The flawless fielding from the infielders, knowing that you have to be perfect to record an out. Now, a ball hit to second, a little different story. It's a shorter throw, like we saw last inning for Italy. But you know, you can't make mistakes.
A show of a bunt, and Elia Sartini pulls the bat back to take ball one. Well, it took Italy until the 6th inning of their opening round game to get a couple of hits. They have 2 hits already. That's a strike, and the throw behind Persici. Pretty good play by Eduardo Garcia. The second, there was nobody, the first baseman wasn't there.
It's not only a great play, the first baseman charges, so you think that as a base runner you can get more.
1 ball, 1 strike.
But then you see Garcia sneak in behind him, and then look at him. He's running out toward right field like the ball got past him to see if the runner from Italy would take off to try to go to second.
Wow. So that was a planned play, and pretty well done.
I tell you what, if I had Nuncio's arm, I'd be showing it off, throwing it at every base too.
Ooh, he loves.
I might even throw to a base if no one was on.
Throw out a ghost runner trying to steal.
Shoot.
In the dirt. I mean, he wants to throw.
You know what, though, it does, Dave, if you're the coaches from Italy, especially your first base coach, you have to tell your kids, hey, you can't get a big secondary lead once the ball gets past the past the hitter, because you know, this kid's throwing, and so consequently now, you know, force out at second, you might have an extra step.
2-2. Foul tip.
They're behind me.
Stays alive. That's a good point. We saw the ultimate example, I thought, yesterday in the monumental win, the historic win for Canada over Japan, where the wild pitches were a part of it, but Canada decided right out of the chute they were just going to run wild and test Japan, and they pulled it off.
Yeah, normally Japan known for their flawless fundamentals.
There's strike 3.
They did get a little sloppy yesterday.
They did. They did not play the way that we're used to seeing them play, and that was the end result. Canada 10-4, that huge win over Japan. So they will play South Korea tomorrow, Sunday, 5 Eastern, right here on ESPN. The first of those winners bracket games tomorrow morning, 11 Eastern, Panama and Australia. There's a bunt. Trevino's going to try to go to second, and well done. He gets the force out there.
Great play by Trevino, but you know, again, we go back to the catcher Nuncio. He keeps throwing down to first. He keeps those runners from getting a big secondary lead. And this is a bang play at second base, but they can get that play because the runner can't get the secondary lead. But look at Trevino. He knew all from the get-go. As soon as that ball was put on the ground, he was going to second base. No hesitation. Big play right there from Mexico.
And Gary DeFabio, the second base umpire, got the call absolutely right. 71-mile-an-hour fastball for strike 1 to Alessandro Ercolani. 12 years old, second baseman. So now it's Michel Gidoni at first base as the runner. 0-2 after the foul ball.
You have to think that he was bunting for a hit right there. With 1 out. Yeah.
I think if you're a fast kid, you can sort of do both, right? You're trying to move the runner, but you're trying to get a hit.
The multiple power bands on.
He's got the gear. That one lined toward right field, and a foul. Just foul. The right field umpire made the call. Like that look.
Yeah, there was a couple kids from, I think which team, they had the Hunter Pence going.
Yeah.
The pants up over the knee.
Makes you look faster, right?
0-2.
I would think it would. Some people, I don't think if I ever wore them like that, people think, oh, we better throw over.
0-2. Foul ball, stays alive. You know, we've seen, Crucky, some kids in this Little League World Series. Nice opposite field approach. We've seen a lot of hitters trying to take the ball to right field.
I've noticed this year, it seems like this year, doing the regionals, and now so far, you know, I've been on the U.S. side covering the game. A lot more breaking balls.
On the ground, and it's going to roll foul. Now somebody's got to touch it for it to be a foul ball. I'll make sure he did. It was starting to veer back toward the fair line. If it's in foul territory and it comes back fair, the runner's hustling, that's going to be a hit.
And not only that, but Giannone on first base, he was all the way going around to third. That ball comes back fair. Now you have a first and third situation. Hustling all the way.
1-0 Mexico. That one is low. Hey, by the way, Tim Kirkchin's going to be with us in the third inning. Did you know that?
I did. Can't wait for the little man to get here. I called him an odd little man once on Baseball Tonight.
How'd he take that?
Well, not well.
We might ask him about that. I'm going to sit you guys together. Strike three swinging. So Timmy will be with us when we come back here to Williamsport through 2. Mexico leads Italy 1-0.
This is Little League World Series with the brand new segment.
We started up, we never let it stop, keep it going. Yeah, you know how we do it. Summer forever. It's the sunshine shining down on your face. It's the good times that'll never go away. So I want that was amazing. Forever. Let's keep it going now. I wish that it could be summer.
That's 2 days worth of highlights from Williamsport, and we got more. Mexico, Italy here on this beautiful Williamsport Saturday. 1-0 Mexico leads. Dave Fleming, and happy to be joined by John Kruk's very best friend, Tim Kirkchin, who's here in the booth with us. This is your second year in a row, Tim, coming to Williamsport to see the Little League World Series. That's just a taste of it, what we just saw there. But how have you enjoyed your time here?
Well, I've loved it. And that inning just suggested why I love this. The skillful play of some of these kids is remarkable. This catcher throwing from his knees to the bases with something on it. The first baseman just made a play for Mexico that some first basemen in the big league say, I'll just make the out at first. He made a perfect throw to second. That's the skillful part that really, really impresses me.
I don't want to call out any first baseman specifically, but you're right. There's some who don't want to make that play.
Crucky, it's not you. You would have made that play. Don't be sensitive now.
I wasn't talking about you.
I played shortstop in Little League. I did.
I bet you could pick it at shortstop.
Where they told me to play. That's where I play.
Gael Cortez, and he, in the opener for Mexico, he helped turn a double play, made some diving stops. He can really play shortstop.
And we saw some shortstop play yesterday by some of those kids that were so impressive. A kid charged the ball barehanded through to first. Another made a diving play in the hole.
With the bases loaded.
Right. And again, the work around the bag on the double play between the middle infielders is the best thing that they do here. It's my favorite part of the big league game. It's my favorite part of the Little League game.
I thought the sacrifice fly was.
Love the big fan of the sacrifice fly. Swinging strike 2 for Gael Cortez. Yeah, the pop isn't bad either.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Pure sugar. Pure sugar.
Just sugar in a bottle. There are great seats all around these 2 ballparks. We got 2. You know, Crucky and I were talking about it, Tim, where you think about these kids, and look, our local Little Leagues do a great job, but you come here, these are big league quality fields, and not just sort of the feel of, hey, the big stands, big crowds, but the playing surface itself
Right, and there's no doubt. I've taken infield on these fields last year just as a part of a little piece that I had to do, and they're really manicured beautifully, and they should be. These kids need help, and a good field can help them.
2 balls, 2 strikes to count.
How did you do?
I did okay. Listen, when I come here, I think they sent me here just for to provide some scale on these players, because these players are really, some of these kids are really big, and that's what has impressed me as much as anything. Last year we interviewed a kid named Terrence who was 6 foot tall and weighed 180 pounds. So I asked him on TV, I said, at what time of your life were you my height? And he looked at me without hesitation and said, second grade.
Well, how about the kid from Canada, Loreto Siniscalchi, who's 6'1", 175, throwing 80 miles an hour. Dominating Team Japan. That ball is crushed deep to left field and gone. A home run for Gael Cortez. That sounded good, didn't it?
Wow.
That ball was smoked right there.
Almost hit that Trevor out there. He threw him a fastball a couple pitches prior to this that he really turned on quick. And you see that those hips open up quick. He's looks like he's looking for something middle end, catches it out front, and that's the struggle they've had so far against Adorney was they were getting jammed. Well, he made sure he opened up quick and got to that one.
Cookie, that's a beautiful technical swing right there.
Beautiful swing. That's what I mean. The fundamentals of these kids are extraordinary.
And that's not, Gael, he's 5'6", 130 pounds. That's not one of the big, huge, hulking kids here in Williamsport. Yeah. You get the whole thing down.
Got the elbow guard on, the sleeve with the power bands over it. I mean, work it off. Hey, if you're going to get it for free, use it all.
To third, Gambarini, who's got the very strong arm, right on the money.
Dave, you're talking about the Canadian pitcher who struck out 13 yesterday. I interviewed him yesterday, stood next to him. He's 3-4 inches taller than me. His hands are enormous. So he's a big, strong kid that has matured quickly, and he throws really hard. I've seen some hard throwers here, but none harder than that kid so far.
Come on, let's go. I think at one point in the game, too, he had something like 60 pitches, 54 strikes. Yeah, I mean, it was like he's throwing 78 miles an hour and just one strike after another.
We had a kid last night pitch, Leon.
Right.
That holds 6 baseballs in his hand.
Really?
Yeah, we showed it on camera. He had 6 baseballs in his hand. That's Johnny Bench stuff.
Johnny Bench was here to throw out the sort of the ceremonial first pitch. We should have got those two together.
The common denominator of every major league player I've met, they have really strong hands. And virtually every kid that I've shook hands with here, you can tell their hands are a little bigger than the rest of their body, meaning they have strong hands. That's the best way to be successful in the game, is if you have strong hands.
You and Crucky are going to arm wrestle after we're done here, right?
That'll last about a second.
We needed some extra equipment for the catcher, so we got that sorted out.
It's like his thing that hangs down the catcher, his mask that protects the throat area came loose.
Okay. Luis Nuncio, here's the catcher who's got the arm that Tim was talking about.
It's like Benito Santiago, the way he throws from his knees.
Pretty good role model.
We ran that play once in spring training where I snuck in behind a guy first and second. He threw it from his knees, which is not something I'm ever used to seeing. And it was about a foot off the ground. I'm thinking, oh man, I got to short hop this. Well, I start to go after it like it's a short hop, and it stayed there, and it hit me right in the wrist. I told him after that, I said, that's it. We'll never run that play again.
2-0. And popped way up there. This will not be an easy play.
Watch out.
Yeah. You can just kind of see that one coming.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Up in the sun, you can see Gambarini looking into the sun, but watch his throw.
This is And you're right. That's the second baseman sneaking in behind on that play. It's a timing play, and they did it.
And did you see him after he caught the ball and he was safe? He started to run toward right field. I hope the kid from Italy would take off.
That's Luis Nuncio at the plate now with that strong arm from catcher. 3-1.
Hey, the one thing I could say about the kids from Mexico and the experience I had playing 5 years of winter ball down there, a lot of the fans that came to our games were young kids, little league age kids and younger, and they would just sit and watch and observe. So they're watching really good players play in their winter leagues and summer leagues, you know, adults, and they learn from them, you know, what they do, their actions, their mannerisms.
We're talking about growing the game, Crucky. How about the Little League Grow the Game grant program created to provide local Little Leagues the resources they need for general improvement to expand or establish Little League Softball, Little League Challenger Division, Little League Urban Initiative programs. For more information, visit littleleague.org/grow the game. Marco Bortolotti, who's really trying to grow the game.
Questi battitori così potenti a 2 punti. Stiamo facendo una gran partita, siamo ancora in gara, ok? Abbiamo bisogno di un lanciatore fresco adesso, ok? Mettiamo dentro il Ciccio, vai all'esterno sinistro e Simolo lo mettiamo giù, ok? Ok, va bene, cerchiamo di dare il 100%, Ok. Simo!
Just talking to his kids a little bit about effort.
Andiamo Ciccio, ehi! Non devi arrivare al sesto inning, ok? Non devi tirare, devi dare il 100% anche solo per un paio di out, un paio di inning, ok? Andiamo Ciccio, è tutto quello che hai.
I don't speak fluent Italian, but I think I could pick up the 100% in there. Did you hear that?
I didn't understand a word they said.
We'll be back. Tim's going to break out his Italian to English dictionary when we come back. 2-0 Mexico. Welcome back here to Williamsport, where we are on this beautiful Saturday, on Elimination Saturday, where teams have to win to stay alive, at least in terms of their championship hopes. Dave Fleming, John Kruk, Tim Kirkjian, and Francesco Segreto, 12 years old, will take over on the mound for the Italian team.
I think you're going to see some animation from this young man. He doesn't throw a striker. He doesn't throw the ball in his warm-ups where he wants. He's jumping around and he's doing something with his arm. Pretty animated young man.
He's the kid who, when we meet the players before the game, and they all tell us who their favorite players are, and it's Mike Trout, it's Manny Machado, it's all the sort of usual suspects. Francesco said, my favorite ball player is Jake Peavy. Which I love. I'm dying to go down and find out now. Jake Peavy's one of my favorite people in the game. Great pitcher, great guy. But I'm dying to find out what made Francesco Segreto such a big Jake Peavy fan.
He's going to start yelling at himself when he throws a ball here, and that's when we know he's Jake Peavy's favorite.
Miss with a pitch and start yelling "Dag blessed" and "Dag gummit." Called strike. That's a good way to start for Francesco.
Greg Maddux was the same way. He didn't throw many bad pitches, but when he did, it was entertaining.
Yeah. 4 times in his career, he yelled at himself.
Once a year, maybe.
Victor Suarez, who is a good hitter. He's had 3 hits already in this Little League World Series. It's an attempt at a curve, and it bounced.
Adam Dunn once told me he used to count how many pitches into a game before Jake Peavy started screaming at himself. He said usually it was about 5, and then it just was for the rest of the game.
Yep, it's one of the things we love about him. But I find that this is a kid from Bologna, Emilia, Italy, who is a big Jake Peavy fan.
Did you say some of these kids said that Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and those guys were their favorite players? I love that.
Yeah, and in fact, some of them told us before this Little League World Series started, fastball inside, 2-1, that we're learning about Lou Gehrig, the 1927 Yankees, reading about Jackie Robinson, watching the movie 42 to learn more about him.
2 balls, 1 strike.
That is so refreshing that we have kids from another country that understand the history of Major League Baseball, when a lot of kids in our country don't understand it.
Well, you go into a
Another one of these tough pop-ups with the sun and not caught. Leah Sartini kind of got turned away. You can see he just lost that one up in the bright sun.
Some sunglasses maybe for that young man soon. And that's a tough catch anyway. He's running. It goes back to the infield. It's been a tough catch if he got it. High sky, as opposed to the low one that usually is here.
Yeah, you always love that comment.
I've never understood it. Wow, it's tough sky. Why? Well, it's a high sky today.
It's high every day.
Did we measure? Like sabermetrically, how high is it from yesterday? Eesh.
2-2. On the ground is short and kind of a tough hop. And Alessandro Beccari could not field it cleanly. All right, so we're going to try to measure it for you, Crucky.
All right.
Up above, we've got our aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. See, I mean, it's high.
I think it's just amazing that who's up there taking the video of the blimp while the blimp's taking video of the.
You are full of questions.
How does that happen?
He's such a curious guy.
I am, yeah.
Always thought that about him.
High sky. Like, is the sky, I already said that in Arizona. Is the sky higher in Arizona than it is in Florida?
That one a little comebacker. Francesco throws to second and gets the out there. Wow.
Didn't expect that to happen, and he got it out.
I did not.
Well, you watch his throw right here. Normally you try to set your feet. He set him to throw to first, but then he said, let me crossfire and get this for the second. And I think the runner on first base wasn't anticipating a throw either, because he looked like he was going to throw it to first. He slowed up and allowed this force play to happen.
That's the ultimate deke.
That is.
So young Francesco Segreto gets the out. First and third, 2 down. I mean, look, this is a big part of the game. Italy, they have not yet scored in this Little League World Series. I take that back. They got a run in the 6th inning of game 1, but they've had a hard time scoring runs. Fall behind by a bigger margin. It's going to be tough on an elimination Saturday, where if you lose today.
Saw the catcher come out, yelled at the first baseman, let me know if he's going. I'm assuming that's what he told him. Or if he gets too big a secondary lead, I'm throwing.
Trevino, there's a curveball, 1-1.
Have we seen a lot of curveballs here? And have we weighed in on curveballs?
On the American side, we have.
Yeah, I think we've seen fewer over here. Fewer.
When you're throwing 80, why would you mess with it?
Well, that's true. We've seen big power arms on the international side, where there hadn't had to been a lot of that. On a line, caught at second by Ercolani. Tim, you going to hang with us?
I hope so.
Well, we'll see if we kick you out or not when we
need to keep the odd little man in the booth.
2-0 Mexico. Well, we're back on this beautiful day in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, day 3 of the 2016 Little League World Series. Time for our Fresh Take, brought to you by Subway. And the big stories yesterday really were California, which has been the power on the U.S. side, Japan, which has been the power on the international side. Both lose in the first round, first time that's ever happened when they've been in Williamsport together.
And the Japan team, the last time they lost in the first round was in 1965.
1965.
But it took that big Canadian pitcher throwing really hard to beat him, that's for sure.
And that's the thing with the first round. Normally most teams throw their #1 pitcher, and some teams, you don't know if Canada has a great #2 or #3 pitcher, but their #1 is as good as anyone here.
There's a breaking ball for strike 2 swinging. This is Filippo Laghi, who is hitting for the first time. There's a curve for strike 3 called. One out here in the bottom of the 3rd. Mexico leads 2-0. Pretty good pitch from Jose Leal.
Yeah, it looks more like a slider than it does a curveball. You see the harder break on that pitch. Not as big a break, but a late breaker.
And that could be what it is.
Locked him up. I think that's the thing that fascinates me more about covering this event. Is you see the kids out here playing and they look so polished, and then after the game they do the interview and it's like, well, I was just trying to get, you know, their voice. You're like, you're saying, hey man, you know, well, it's amazing. That's when you realize, my God, they are only 11, 12, and 13.
Can you do that that impression again?
Well, you know, I was looking for a good pitch. Put a good swing on it.
I'm with you. They're still kids.
We talked to the kid from Oregon that got the walk-off hit. And Jamie asked, he said, what are you going to do now? He goes, I'm going to go party.
Yeah, Robert Carroll ripping it up in the Grove.
1 and 2 guys, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
We are breaking out the kettle corn after this win.
He said soda and pizza.
Okay. Alessandro Beccari, the shortstop. Chase one there. He'll take off. And there's that arm from Luis Nunzio. 2 down.
You know, Dave, when you get close to these players, you realize how big and strong and everything else. So last year, as part of this piece I was doing, I threw batting practice to the kid Cole Wagner.
Yes.
And I had to tell his dad, look, don't worry. I'm not gonna hurt him, meaning I can still throw batting practice. I'm not gonna hit him with a pitch. And his dad looked at me and he said, we're not worried about him getting hurt. So I threw him 5 pitches in the cage, firm. I threw him hard. And his dad told me before, he said, make sure you get behind the screen. He told me that twice. And then he told his son, Cole, pull the ball, meaning don't kill the old sports writer. It won't be good. So I threw 5 pitches to this kid. He hit the 5 hardest balls I've ever seen, and from a 12-year-old, and I felt like I understood a little better how big and strong some of these kids are, because that kid had a big-time swing.
Remember him? The kid from the Pennsylvania team. Mexico's making a pitching change, and this is where those pitch count rules, I think, come into play. With the thresholds, Dave Fleming, Tim Kirkchin, John Kruk here from Williamsport. Experiences like that sort of tell you what this event is about. And yet, you know, that Pennsylvania team ultimately walked out of here disappointed. They had championship aspirations. You see both sides, right? You see how young the kids can be, and then you see how much they care about being here and trying to win a championship.
Right, and Crucky saw it the other night with the walk-off game. That was a classic Little League game, the way that game was played. Take the pitcher out, the right fielder comes in to pitch, he gets 2 big outs, and at the end of the game when the ball goes over the right fielder's head, there are cheers everywhere, and then there are kids crying. That was what Little League is all about to me.
Here's what you're talking about.
Hey, watch him peek, though. Robert Carroll peeks a lot, but hey, why not? He did. He hit that ball pretty good, and look at just over the outstretched glove of the right fielder. And the Jones twins, they had a part in all 3 runs. Leadoff hitter, I think Tanner or Tyler, whichever one, hit a home run to give them their first run, and they both got on in that 6th inning and scored the runs 2 and 3.
All right, so our new pitcher is Gael Cortez. He's been the shortstop. We saw him hit a home run at the plate. Now he takes over on the mound, 13 years old.
Thank you, bud. Appreciate that.
And the managers, this is also the part of the tournament. We see it all the way through, but you really start to get some gamesmanship with managing the pitch counts, trying to save arms.
Especially in a 2-run game.
I know
it's not like they're winning 7-0.
You are right about that. There is a risk involved.
But perhaps they have a lot of pitching, and they figure, you know, we're gonna keep it off.
Francesco Segreto. See if he hits like JPV.
You hope it's a little better.
You know, Jake, for a guy who is basically legally blind, he's a pretty good hitter.
He has to guess a lot.
I've always found that to be an amazing part of his game. He can't see, and yet he can hit a little bit. That seems hard to me.
Then, of course, there's Madison Bumgarner, who hit his 12th homer the other night. Another bomb.
Amazing.
What's that? I read that he and there's only one other current player that's hit home runs off Kershaw, Greinke, and DeGrom.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And what he did the other night, he was the second pitcher ever to give up a grand slam in one inning and hit a go-ahead home run in the same inning. So Hal Jeffco did that in 1957, and now Madison Bumgarner. Only in baseball do we come up with stuff like that.
Is that going to be a Kirk gem?
Might be.
Bumgarner, to me, like if you're picking big leaguers who sort of make the game look like Little League baseball, for me it's almost him, because he's a pitcher. He's a great pitcher. He's a World Series hero. And then he comes up and he looks like the best hitter on the team.
And he's so laid back, but you wonder inside if he's like the 4 days where he's not pitching. You wonder if he's like wanting to, go over to Bruce Bochy and say, put me in somewhere. I can't sit here and watch this.
It would be just like the Little Leagues if they put him at first base for a couple innings and said, Bum, you got to come in and pitch the ninth now. And I'm sure he'd say, all right, just give me the ball.
I think he could do it, don't you?
Of course.
He wasn't very good in the 2014 World Series. Needs some work still.
Francesco, he is really choking up.
He got a couple thrown up and in, and was late on a couple. So he's thinking, you know what? Let me get up here and see if we can't shorten this bat a little bit, put one in play.
He's taking that to an extreme.
He's almost above the rubber on that thing. It might sting if he hits it.
Strike 3 called. And Cortez strikes out the side. Is that it for you, Tim? You're going to go back to do something else now?
Well, I don't have anything else to do, but...
but we'll see. 2-0 Mexico. Welcome back to beautiful Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Mexico leading 2-0 our Honda game. Summary: the home run by Gael Cortez, which was very impressive. The winner of this game faces the loser of Canada, South Korea. Those teams both won their opening round games. The loser of this game is eliminated from championship contention. So Mexico with the 2-0 lead halfway through this 6-inning Little League World Series game. Dave Fleming, John Kruk, true to his word. Tim Kirchin has nothing better to do.
I think I said nothing else to do. This is great fun doing this stuff. I love watching these kids play.
The good thing about Tim is he's like a compact car. You can basically parallel park him anywhere. Not a lot of room.
Seriously, I'm having trouble seeing over the monitors here. I cannot see the batter. Can you?
Well,
he's 6'8".
Yeah, I can see the hitter.
I'm having trouble. Also, my feet don't touch the ground here at all.
Why don't you hang off the booth? Just do it from there.
That was Team Canada, by the way, here to watch a game. Tim got to meet those kids last night after their historic win against Japan. That has been the big story on this international side. There is Loreto, who was the star at the plate on the mound. They do have to wait a few days. They maxed out on him, so he's not going to be eligible to pitch again for several days.
And Dave, that's the strategy here, right?
It is.
You have to say we're up 6 runs. Do we keep him in? Do we take him out? There's a lot of strategy.
We had that in the regional game, in the semifinal game. The team from Connecticut scored 7 runs in the first inning. Their pitcher went out and pitched to 3 hitters. They took him out, and by the 3rd inning, it was 7-7. But they ended up winning, and he did pitch the next day.
And
well, that was the second day he pitched in the semifinal game to get him in the finals. Pitched great.
Yeah.
So it would make sense if you have 3 good pitchers, you pitch them every game, right? Or it's and just split everything up, an inning here, 2 innings there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think different coaches, managers have a different idea about how to do it. Diego Cantu is the hitter. That's a strike. It's 2-2. All right, Tim, you mentioned. Can you see over that monitor? Where's home plate for Tim Kirchin?
See, this is what I mean. I'm watching the game like this. Not particularly comfortable, but that's okay. That's
well positioned right behind this too. Just in case I
bet if you asked, someone could move that monitor a little bit.
No, it's okay, really. I'm used to this.
2-2 on the ground to second. Nice high hop for Ercolani, who throws out Cantu.
And speaking of little guys, Dave, of course, Jose Altuve hit his 20th home run last year. So only in baseball can we do this. Hack Wilson and Jose Altuve are the only guys 5'6" and below to ever hit 20 homers in a season.
It's one of the things I absolutely love about this sport, and the Little League World Series in a way just epitomizes that.
I mean, Jose Altuve, Dustin Pedroia, David Eckstein, and a whole bunch of other guys should give every kid out there hope that if they can develop the skills to play it, they can play this sport. That's what is so beautiful about it. A lot of the big leaguers look like us. Well, they don't look like me, but they look like us, and that's a great thing.
I'm hoping they don't look like me. Lord sakes for that kid.
Rene Villarreal is the pinch hitter here. Well, that Canada game we've been talking so much about, Loreto Siniscalchi, 6'1", throwing 80 miles an hour, one pitch after another. The first hit for Japan, it had been 8 up, 8 down with 7 strikeouts. And the first hit for Japan came from a kid named Shotoku Sato, who's about 4'6", weighs 78 pounds, and he stood right in there and lined a base hit to right field.
Again, the beauty of this sport is it's open to all shapes and sizes.
The tallest player is Loreto at 6'1". Dylan Barrett of Rhode Island checking in at 4'7".
Wasn't there a kid here a couple years ago? It was like 6'5".
Yeah. We've had a couple really truly. There was one kid from Michigan, I think. And then there was a kid for the Saudi Arabian team. I think his name was Aaron Durley, who was 6'7". 6'7". 2-2.
We saw a kid from one of the teams the other day who grew 6 inches from this time last year, and instead of losing his athleticism, which you can when you gain 6 inches in a year, he got just bigger, stronger, and even better. Which
you're talking about the kid from Kentucky that pitched?
Yes.
OD,
right. That was really impressive.
He had a bomb too.
Tim Kirkchin speaking from experience. When you gain 6 inches in a year, things can change, right?
Yeah, I gained 6 inches in 26 years.
That will be a base and a base runner for Villarreal.
Wow, we talked about the Italian fundamentals, and that's one of those things that that comes later on, is knowing who the hitter is, knowing the speed of the hitter. No need to rush that play, and he tried to come in and field it on the run and let it get underneath his glove.
It's a good point you make, because in this sport, a lot of times that is true. It's not just the physical fundamentals, but the planning ahead, the thinking ahead, and saying, yeah, I do have a little extra time with this kid running. We'll use Patricio Juarez as a special pinch runner. You think his dad, I mean, it's a pretty hot day. You think Dad is still wearing the mask in the stands?
Yes, I see him down there.
Yeah, you do.
Maybe it's ventilated.
I hope so, for his sake. We're in the 4th inning. It's 2-0 Mexico. Ground ball foul.
It's kind of a lost art in the big leagues. A kid, right-handed hitter, bunting down the third baseline like that. Don't see that very much anymore.
It's still a fun play to watch. I mean, the little game is still, I think, a part of what makes baseball fun. Fabian Mar. This is his second at bat of the game.
Yes, he went.
Okay, he did. 0-2. We've seen, I think, at the big league level these last couple of years, more safety squeeze plays than I can remember, and I think they're almost always successful. I mean, a lot of teams are using that play to great effect. It's a tough play to defend.
Cubs won a game with that the other night with John Lester, not a good hitting pitcher as a pinch hitter, and they ran the safety squeeze and they won the game.
0-2 to Fabian Mar. Piece of that curve.
Crucky, were you like a great Little League player? Did you just dominate as a kid at this age? And you could say yes if it's the truth. A lot of the big leaguers were absolutely great at this age. Al Leiter told me, that really big kid in town that everyone was afraid of and no one could hit? That was me. That's what he said. And Crucky, it's okay. You must have dominated at this age.
Well, I thought I did well until I go back home and I see someone somewhere and, hey, remember that time I struck you out 3 times? Nope. No, not really, but good luck for you. It's good conversation. But yeah, I did well. I enjoyed it. I didn't play that much. You know, we only played like 15 games a year, maybe. That's all I played. Whenever we had a game, I played. We didn't practice. We just, you know, summer league game day. Let's go play.
That one just missed. Wasn't it cool? Yesterday we showed the footage, and I'm sure we'll show it again tonight. Crucky and I have Japan and Curacao, a really fascinating elimination game. And Curacao, they're a team that has won the Little League World Series before, and it wasn't that long ago, 2004. So we show the footage of that team. Jonathan Scope and Jerkson Profar, 2 big leaguers.
Big leaguers.
2 really high-level players on one Little League team. A hard hit ball up the middle, base hit. Nice at bat for Fabian Mar, and it's going to roll all the way to the wall. Patricio Juarez, the pinch runner, coming home, and the throw is a little late. It's a triple.
Dave, that was a really good swing by that kid, but watching him run the bases, he was completely aware of where the guy was in front of him, and he was going to third in that situation, get there with 1 out no matter what. This is really impressive for a kid of this age.
Yeah, not only watching, you know, where the ball is going as he's running to second base, but picking up the coach too.
I mean, the center fielder cut it off. He hit his cutoff man. The relay throw home was accurate. Just well done all the way around. And with that triple, the Italians are going to make another pitching change. Top of the 4th, 3-0 Mexico. We'll be back right after this. Who's here? Welcome back to the Little League World Series, presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. And yeah, Tony the Tiger, he's here in person.
I got to get my picture with him.
That's the real deal. I mean, that's him.
I you know what he is though?
He's great.
He's great.
Yeah. In person is probably the wrong way to put it. Samuel Gambarini will pitch now.
It was favorite athlete Usain Bolt.
That's been a popular answer. I think part of it is, hey, we've been watching Usain Bolt here these last few weeks, but
great personality. Usain Bolt, you can see why kids would love him. Did you see his interview after he won a gold medal? They started playing the national anthem at another event, and he stopped the interview to turn around.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. Great show of respect.
Gael Cortez, who already has a home run. Runner at third, 1 out. The infield's coming in for Italy.
Third baseman's got to be having a lot of fun with this one. Infield in. This young man just hit one 752 feet on a line.
The infield's always in on these Little League fields, and then you bring it in on the grass. Boy, you're right on top of it.
So Francesco Segreto heads up at third.
Here you go!
Did you say the home plate umpire is Dallas Braden's buddy?
Yes, Jeff Freeze, who was the president. It comes from the same Little League in Stockton, California, as Dallas Braden was the president of Dallas's Little League from when he was a kid, so the two know each other.
I bet he's got some stories about Dallas.
Yeah. Well, Dallas is coming in today. Williamsport will never be the same. Trust me.
Batten down the hatches. 2-1.
Yesterday we went down the hill with Jessica Mendoza.
How'd that go?
She went head first twice. It was incredible. I told her, don't do that. You're going to get hurt. She said, I'm doing it. She went down head first. It was tremendous. Of course, Dallas will go down the hill standing up.
Didn't those two knuckleheads jump out of a plane? At Fort Bragg, right? Well, they jumped out of a plane, didn't they?
To the backstop, and that wild pitch will score a run. Fabian Mar comes in to score.
Dallas jumped out of a plane. Jessica didn't, but boy, she was great on the hill yesterday, and Dallas will do something stupid on the hill for sure. He might
try to stand up and go down.
Piece of cardboard.
Don't let the myth of the California surfer kid fool you. He can't surf.
Well, Stockton is a wonderful place. It ain't real close to the ocean. There are not a lot of waves in Stockton.
Played in the minor leagues there.
3-1 the count here.
I don't think Dallas was born yet, thank goodness.
That is probably actually true. 3-2. Well, Team Mexico has to be feeling pretty good about the way this elimination game is going. Up 4-0. Italy, if they do not win this game, they're not done. They get to play another game. We have what we call consolation games, which I like because, look, you traveled 6,000 miles to get here. At least play one more game in the big ballpark.
The more games, the better. The more you play, the better you get. Why not play while you're here?
So walk to Gael Cortez.
And Dave, if I may, I'm going to embarrass Crucky here.
Okay.
During the commercial, he whispered to me that he didn't make it out one year in Little League until the 10th game of the season. Sorry, Crucky. But it proves my point that some of our best major leaguers were really good at this level.
Ball hit hard, but foul. We've seen a litany of players, even, basically every big leaguer played some form of Little League baseball, but we've seen lots of Little League World Series veterans go on to have success. Todd Frazier comes to mind as the most recent great example. The guy who was here in Williamsport.
And that was my mom's favorite player because she got to watch him, and he was so cute in Little League for Tom's River. I love him. Hey, I've told Todd that story. He's very appreciative.
Hard hit ball and knocked down, picked up, and a dive for the bag. He got him. Now the throw across, some daring base running by Cortez. He'll make it to third, but Elias Artini, he got the out at first base.
Yeah, it's a one-hop rocket that it looked like he got shielded by the runner. And the only advice you could give him is once that ball's on the ground and stop, pick it up with your bare hand. It's hard to glove it with the, hard to pick it up with the glove, but he did it and he got made the play.
And that's to the point we were made. You're at first base. You're 60 feet away from home plate. A ball gets hit that hard, right at you.
The runner in front of you too, blocking you.
So 2 down. Nope, says Jeff Freeze. Luis Nuncio has hit one to the warning track in center and drawn a walk.
And great base running by Cortez to get all the way around to third base where a wild pitch could score.
Yep, he started at first on that play. One ball, one strike to count. One of these years, since we expanded the Little League World Series field to 16 teams the way we divide it up now.
I'll tell you why they're getting on this. That's the second one he's dropped.
Yeah, I saw the first one.
All right, so when a Little Leaguer drops a pop-up, no words from him. Yeah, that's 2. 2-1.
But the thing I love about coaching young kids is you hear coaches, routine ball, a kid makes an error, and the coach says, "Come on, you got to catch that." You think the kid doesn't know that? Like, do you have to remind him that you just missed the ball? He knows. He's upset he missed it.
Hey, Dave, so you said something earlier after the kid got hit by a pitch.
That's a pop-up. And with that bright sun, Tommaso Adorni, he's got it. Tim, finish that thought when we come back. Middle of the 4th.
Is he staying another inning?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Then we'll kick him out.
I can leave whatever you want.
All right, so that is the second game of the day, and you can see up the hill in Labadie, they're already starting to get in place. 3 Eastern on ABC, Oregon, Rhode Island, and an elimination game on the U.S. side. Oregon won 4 straight after losing their opening round game in the Northwest Regional, so they kind of been here before. The loser is eliminated from title contention, so that'll be the first of 2 U.S. elimination games today. We've got an international elimination game going on right now. It's Mexico leading Italy 4-0 in the bottom of the 4th, and Gael Cortez is still on the mound. Dave Fleming, John Kruk, Tim Kirchen, who's with us in the booth.
Staying for more.
We're going to have Tim on for a half inning, and look
and
what's happened.
Just will not go home. So, Dave, the point I was making about getting hit by a pitch, people say, just, rub some dirt on it. It doesn't hurt after you get hit in the ribs. You're right. It hurts. And for our parents and our coaches to say it doesn't hurt really doesn't cover the issue.
Does not help anybody. There's a fly ball. It's going to drop left center field. And Samuel Gambarini has his second hit of the game. We do have a new catcher. Raul Lopez is behind the plate. Luis Nuncio goes out to right field, so we'll see if Raul.
I'd like to see a base hit to right now.
He'll probably throw from his knees in right field, throw somebody out.
To third.
Jose Miranda, the left fielder as well. Tommaso Adorni started as the pitcher. Takes strike one.
You'd have to think at some point Nuncio's going to pitch, wouldn't you? With that arm?
I would hope so. Or if I'm the other team, I would hope not.
Foul ball straight back. It is 0-2 to Adorni. There's Luis. And if Mexico stays alive, I bet we will see him on the mound. And that, I was starting to say, since the tournament expanded to this format, no team has lost its opening round game and gone on to win the overall championship. That is going to happen one of these years. Now you're at a big disadvantage. You end up having to win 6 games instead of just 4 games if you run the table, and you use your pitching a lot more. Your pitchers get taxed. I get it, but one of these years it's going to happen.
And this year with California losing yesterday, Japan losing, maybe this is the year that those teams make a comeback. And I've seen some good teams since I've been here.
And it feels like a Little League World Series that is wide open.
Yeah, I haven't seen one team that, and I haven't seen all the international games, but I haven't seen really one team that you look at and say, wow, they are so much better than everyone else.
Yes. Got him with the breaking ball in the dirt.
But I will say this, of all the U.S. teams I've seen, of the 8 teams I've already covered, I think the most well-balanced team right now is the team from New York. They go left, right, left, right, left, right, right, right. They have dominant pitching, and their best pitcher didn't even pitch. You'll see this kid pitch when they play tomorrow. Michael Mancini, good fastball, unbelievable curveball. Some say he might throw it too much. I think in the championship game in the regionals, he threw 80-something pitches, and I'm guessing somewhere close to 65 to 70 of them were curveballs.
Here is Leonardo Zambernardi, the pinch hitter for Italy. Now, Crucky, we have an important question. Does running out of pizza equal cardio?
Absolutely it does. Yes.
So you mentioned running before?
And he's getting some cotton candy opened up.
On top of it.
I'm not sharing that with the kids. Absolutely it does.
Does running out of pizza count as cardio?
I think getting out of bed to go get a drink of water does too.
It's life's important questions.
Hey, the doctor told me to walk. That's walking. I've never had a doctor. You should start running. Yeah, right.
0-2. On the infield. 2 down. Jose Leal makes the catch. So New York on the U.S. side has been really impressive. Kentucky, which has experience being here, and that may be a factor for them.
And the fact that they won last night against the team from Texas, and their #1 pitcher had to pitch Monday here when they had to bus up here to play because of the rain in their regionals. So he'll be able to pitch their next game.
That's a good point. In the dirt, Gambarini, who's been very aggressive on the base pass, takes off and makes it to second.
Yeah, I don't know if that was he read the pitch and was running. It looked like he was running as soon as the ball crossed home plate before the catcher missed it. He got tired of standing on first.
Now remember, in Little League, you can't leave until the pitch crosses home plate. That's what he left.
That's either an unbelievable reaction but it looked like that could be a straight steal.
2-1. Ilya Sartini.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Major league.
It translates.
There you go.
That's how you learn.
David, I was struck by something Crucky said earlier, that he was a left-handed player and they put him at shortstop in the Little League game. And I think this is a great idea to let the kids play all over the field at very young ages to give them an idea of what it's like to play in the outfield. If there's a left-handed catcher and he can do it and he wants to do it, that can't hurt as a kid learns how to play the game.
I'm with you. To short, the throw, and not quite handled. Now the break for the plate, and a run for Italy. Gamberini comes in to score. Italy's on the board.
Gamberini's had the aggressiveness going around the bases here after the base hit. Looked like he stole second. He scores from second base on a low throw that didn't really get past the first baseman that much.
No, and that aggressiveness has Italy run.
I think that that ball fooled the shortstop, Victor Juarez. It looked like it was hit a lot harder, and he laid back on it. But I mean, you saw the strong throw.
Federico Tibertini is the hitter. Some life in that dugout for Italy. We love to see that. And I think Tim makes a good point. Hey, last night we saw Jurangelo Seinche for Curacao start the game as a left-handed pitcher. Didn't like his command, and 4 hitters in, turned around and became a right-handed pitcher.
That was beautiful. I had a kid today ask me, a 12-year-old asked me, does he have a pitch limit left-handed and right-handed, or is the pitch limit cover both? It's an interesting question.
We brought it up on the air last night, and it turns out we did look into it, and he has the overall pitch count. It doesn't matter what, but it makes sense to ask it.
For a 12-year-old to ask that, it was a very interesting question.
On the ground, foul. I mean, this it's been a long time since this has happened at the Little League World Series, where Seinche did what he did. Now watch this. So this was him at the start of the game, left-handed. A few hitters later, look at that. Just totally natural.
It's a Pat Vendetti thing. It's really amazing. And Dave, I've done a lot of work on this, but one of the common denominators of baseball players is a lot of them are ambidextrous. Victor Martinez could throw 80 miles an hour with his left hand. George Brett used to throw batting practice all the time with his left hand. There are a bunch of guys in the big leagues that you meet who can throw with both arms. They just don't do it in a game. But I think that ambidexterity really helps you, because it obviously means both hands are dexterous and they can really help you.
I immediately thought of Pablo Sandoval when I learned about this kid, Seinche, because Seinche said, well, he grew up, he wanted to be a shortstop like Andrelton Simmons, like Jurickson Profar, but he was a left-handed thrower, so how do I play shortstop? I learned how to throw with my right hand. That was Pablo growing up in Venezuela. He wanted to be Omar Vizquel, so he taught himself to throw right-handed. Well, Federico Tibertini's hanging in there.
Crucky, you write with your right hand, right?
I play ping pong with my right hand. When I did play tennis as a way back on occasion, just to have some fun, played right-handed.
It's amazing. Left-handed hitter, left-handed thrower, uses his right hand for other things. He's really good. Mark Mulder's that way. He's the most unusual ambidexterity I've ever seen. I'll explain that some other time. But he does all sorts of things, lefty and right.
Well, he was a left-handed hitter in baseball, but he hits a golf ball about 350 yards right-handed. I hate people like that.
He told me everything he does, please don't take this the wrong way, below his waist he does right-handed. Everything above his waist he does left-handed. So he hits left-handed, hits a golf ball right-handed. He pitched in a celebrity softball game. He had to pitch right-handed because the motion was below his waist. And when he caught the ball, he would have to switch his glove like Jim Abbott did in order to throw it left-handed to first.
Wow.
That's Mark Mulder. That's how weird he is.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
but a great athlete.
Huh. That's just weird.
That is too weird.
How about Federico Tibertini, the battle he's having? Seeing a lot of pitches. And he hits one hard to short. Victor Juarez will throw him out. Good at bat, but he makes the out.
All right, I'm going to leave. After an hour or so, I tend to get on Crucky's nerves.
Tim, thanks for being with us. It's Italy 4-1 as we go to the top of the 5th inning, and so many of these young players who would love a little advice from big leaguers who've been in their shoes. How about White Sox All-Star Chris Sale? Advice to kids in Little League right now.
Most importantly, have fun. Have fun. I mean, you know, there are times where, you know, it's crunch time, and in the moment you're competitive and you're on it, but you know, if a little part of you isn't having fun, you know, there's no reason to doing it. So, you know, have fun with it because you're around your friends, you're young. At the end of the day, it's still a game. So just enjoy it while you can.
Perfect. If it ain't fun, there's no use doing it.
Good advice for everybody.
Yes.
And I do think here, you know, sometimes you see these kids who want it so bad, but often the teams in the Little League World Series who look loose, who look like they're having the most fun, are the teams that play well.
And look, you know, just because you're having fun doesn't mean you're not competitive. These kids are all competitive. I think the great thing about these kids, you see them 5 minutes after a loss, they're in the pool up there in the Grove, they're playing ping pong, they're just enjoying, you know, this whole experience.
There's a lesson in that, I think. Victor Juarez, who's the hitter. Victor 1 for 2. Scored one of the 4 runs for Mexico. We're in the 5th inning of this elimination game. First of 4 today from Williamsport. First Saturday of the Little League World Series. That one into right center field. Another hard hit ball for Juarez all the way to the wall. Sema Borawi, who is now in center field for Italy, plays it back in, but it's a double. All right, so this is what we're talking about. Everybody's played once now. Today is the first day where teams start to play their second game, and these are all elimination games. On the international side, this one in Japan, Curacao at 6 Eastern on ESPN, 3 o'clock Eastern on ABC. It's Rhode Island and Oregon, an elimination game for the U.S. bracket, and then California and Texas at 8 Eastern, also on ESPN.
I think for Rhode Island, Colin Lemieux pitched their first game, and you know they hit him pretty good, and he didn't get to the high. I think he can pitch again today, if I'm not mistaken. So that's, you know, they're going to get their best pitcher pitching 2 games, and sadly, it's this second one's do or die for them. And the team from California that we thought, you know, that this team's really good, and you know they look good. Yes. You know, apparently they didn't start their #1 pitcher yesterday. Did a strategy going on there that
did not work out.
And it backfired with them boys from Iowa.
Well, and I think, you know, there are lots of big storylines throughout this Little League World Series already, but today, tonight, watching Japan, and then a couple hours later California, both have to win or they're done 2 games in. That is a big deal based on the history of those Little League programs.
It really is. And you know, Dave, you mentioned, you know, Curacao, you know, how they've been a strong team in this Little League World Series over the past few years. It's not going to be easy for Japan.
No,
you know, because you know you did the game, but you know Japan's #1 pitcher. He can't pitch today.
He cannot. And the pitchers that followed were not. They did a pretty good job, but they were not overwhelming, at least in terms of their velocity. They weren't overpowering pitchers.
And I think that's what we have to, you know, let people know. You know, just because we say this team's from Japan, it's not an all-star team from the country of Japan that comes here and plays. It's from one town. So, you know, when you say, well, Japan's, you know, they've been so good for so many years. Different kids, different towns.
You're right.
And none of those kids that played yesterday have ever been to a Little League World Series.
They have not. That one went under the padding. So the runner will stop at third. Juarez with 1 out.
Hay un out, fly pizzas, hay un out. Vamos.
Yeah, this year it's Chofu Little League from Tokyo. The city of Tokyo has had unbelievable teams in Williamsport. And Japan, part of the reason why we pump them up so much, 4 of the last 6 champions in the Little League World Series have come from Tokyo.
And they deserve to be talked about a lot because of their dominance in this Little League World Series.
The way baseball is treated at the Little League level in Japan.
I mean, when you say that they're the Yankees of Little League,
they are.
Team from Japan.
I mean, look at that. Those are your last 6 champions, 4 in a row on the international side. Seoul, South Korea in 2014. But 4 out of 6 from Tokyo. Huntington Beach back in 2011, the last U.S. champ. And South Korea is a strong contender this year. I don't think there's any question about that. I find it amazing. Seoul has been here now 4 times. So they've been to the Little League World Series as a Little League and as a country 4 times. They have never lost a game. So they ran through and won 3 titles, undefeated the 3 previous times, and they won their opener last night.
That kid pitching last night from down under, those righties didn't look like they they had a chance.
A little sidearm slider or whatever it was. 3-2 here to Milton Gonzalez. That runner at third and 1 out. So can Japan and California survive? Will South Korea turn out to be the power team from the international side? Is New York the best balanced team on the U.S. side? Yeah, that's a walk. By the way, while this last hitter, Milton Gonzalez, was up there, we spotted this in the stands. Foul ball. Oh, is he talking to the guy in the yellow over there?
Pretty big lad right there. I don't know if I talk a whole lot to him.
Good thing he's got a smile on his face.
Yeah, maybe he has a sense of humor.
Hope so. I don't think they know each other.
No, you would. Well, you would think they'd be sitting closer together. When, over the third base dugout, the other one's over the first base dugout.
Yeah. Eduardo Garcia will hit for the 2nd time. Italy is the home team in this game, so they still have 6 outs of life on offense. They're only down 3 runs.
Yeah. Like you said, team from Mexico took their starting pitcher out to try to save pitches. You would think it's rare that it was a 2-0 game when they took the starter out who was, dominating this Italian team from Italy's lineup.
You're right. I mean, they took a chance. So these runs are important. That runner at third with only 1 out. Eduardo Garcia, good math student in his hometown. San Nicolas.
Struggled with that one.
That wouldn't be what you would have listed?
No.
Foul tip, got a piece of the catcher. Baseball can be a game of math. Percentages and.
If you looked at it, the only thing I knew is 60 feet 6 inches, 17.5 inches, and 90 feet. That's all I needed to know, I think.
You did pretty well.
It's okay. There were some places that the walk back to the dugout was a few more steps. I had an 0 for 8 once in Atlanta.
That must have been a fun night.
Well, we won, so it was great. 0 for 8, though.
I like to hear that. That's a good lesson for the little leaguers. You go for 8, but your team wins.
We were playing the Braves in the playoffs. John Smoltz struck me out 4 times in a game, but we won 2-1. I actually had a reporter ask me, how do you bounce back from this? Going 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. I said, we won. It's, what's it? 0 for 4, 4 strikeouts, we win.
We won a playoff game.
We won. We're 1 win away from going to the World Series. That's how I'd looked at it.
Pretty good attitude.
I think you got confidence sometimes. On a bad day, you know at some point you're going to get those back.
Raul Lopez trying to knock in a run. Raul's been hit by a pitch. That was with the bases loaded, so you get credit for a run batted in and hung in there. He took that was a direct hit in the lower back. Pretty good cut. Strike two, though.
When we were doing the regionals, had this young man from Kentucky. He was. They had him listed at like 6'1", maybe 230, and he had 2 at bats, 2 pitches, hit by pitch, and one hit him in the ribs, and one hit him in the upper arm, and he didn't flinch. Just run down to first. I saw him the next day, and I said, man, stolen base first and third action right there from the team from Mexico. I saw him the next morning, and I said, man, did you have a target on last night? He goes, yeah, I guess. Hey, nothing. Like, nothing. No, like, you know, didn't hurt. I don't think it hurt him. But I know when this young man got hit, that one stung.
1-2, and now second and third after that steal. On the ground to second and picked cleanly. Giannone throws him out. That's big. Italy stays within 3.
6 outs.
Still in this game with 6 outs to go.
This is Little League World Series with the brand new sound.
Keeps you coming back again, say, whoa, whoa, there's nothing better. I want summer.
Welcome back to the Little League World Series presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes from beautiful Williamsport. Just getting this Saturday started, first of 4 elimination games. First weekend of the 2016 Little League World Series. Mexico has a 4-1 lead over Italy. Bottom of the 5th, Alessandro Ercolani will lead off for Italy against Gael Cortez. Second pitcher of the game for Mexico. 4-1, that's the lead for Mexico. And Gael apparently is not ready to pitch. By the way, how cool the Duke Ellington School for the Performing Arts in Washington, D.C. Doing that updated rendition of our sort of Little League theme song.
Yeah, I love it. It's just, you know, upbeat, get you going. I'm sure the kids that listen to it love it.
Yeah, they did a great job this year. Summer Forever. It better be a good rendition.
Nice.
Yeah, no kidding. A little check swing foul by Ercolani. Sandlot t-shirt.
I like the other one. I like that one, but the other one.
Yeah, does running out of pizza count as cardio?
Priceless.
I think some pretty good ones today.
Prophetic. I mean, you know, that's.
Oh, you got the call on the curve. Third strikeout for Cortez.
It's like that curveball backed up a little bit.
Bien pichado, niños. Muy buen juego están jugando. Todos están jugando muy bien. Vete, Milton. Déjenlo lanzar. Quítense de la loma. Ánimo. Hey, vas al short. Tercera base. No, tú vas al right field y Nuncio viene a primera base. Tráetelo.
All right, so maybe a little more strategy with those pitch counts. Pitching change for Mexico. We'll tell you all about it right after this. John Kruk, Marisol Castro back here in Williamsport. It's the Little League World Series. 4-1, Mexico leading Italy. An elimination game on the international side. And the new pitcher is the right-hander Milton Gonzalez, 12 years old. Third pitcher of the game for Mexico.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to make sure that they not only win this game, of course, but to have their full complement of pitchers going into their third game of this World Series if they hold on to win this one.
Yeah, so some true strategy from
a lot of breaking balls I saw from him warming up.
Okay, let's see if that translates into the game. Well, yeah, first one, indeed. Of course, mandatory rules based on how many pitches a pitcher throws, how many days he has to rest. So if you take it easy on your pitchers, that one is hit hard to second and caught. And I think he did catch it out of the air. He went ahead and made the throw. Don't take it for granted, but Eduardo Garcia, good play.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't assume that the umpire saw it, saw the catch. Make sure you record the out. But yeah, you're right, Dave. It looks like he just got this ball before it hit the ground. But again, let's be safe.
I like the way you put it. Don't assume. Just go ahead and make the play.
Yep.
Sema Borawi will hit for the first time. We saw him in center field for Italy. 13 years old with 2 down and nobody on. Strike one from Milton Gonzalez. Tell
you what I've noticed about this team from Mexico is the multiple positions these kids play. Pretty much all these kids play. You know, you'll see some teams, they'll take their catcher out and they'll put him at first base maybe, but you saw Nuncio go from catcher to right field. Now he's at first base. Not paying attention. There we go.
Now he's locked in. That one a liner, caught at second. Great inning defensively from Eduardo Garcia. And the big smile to show for it. Okay, yeah, you tried to go behind the back. That's all right.
Yeah, a little fancy, but he had 2 good plays by the young man at second base. That one a good one.
He's been impressive. So has Mexico. They lead through 5, 4-1. Little League University provides web-based training for coaches, umpires, league volunteers, and parents. You can watch videos, review practice plans, or just see some ideas for playing catch in the old backyard. Visit and join for free at littleleagueuniversity.org today. It's a great resource.
It really is. Yeah, we, in our meeting with the people from Little League, they talk about all the, it's just started up, and how many people have got on their program now and with teaching lessons, and anything helps right now.
You don't have to be an experienced baseball player as a parent if you want your kids to learn the game. If you think you can develop some interest in a little league team, we got the resources to help you.
Yeah, just when you think you know everything, you realize you don't know a whole lot.
Heck, we're all always learning.
I learned more about baseball with your basic fundamentals when I got probably in AAA to the big leagues than I did at any other time, just because I didn't play travel ball. They didn't have travel ball, but never played in big tournaments. We just played in our regular little league season and we're done.
Well, I think there's a lesson there too. You can play other sports as a kid. You don't have to. I mean, look, if you want to do the travel ball stuff, great.
Yeah, I never bunted until I got to minor league baseball, so I didn't know how to bunt. So I had to learn that. Had no clue with the runner on second, less than 2, or no outs. Try to pull a ball for a left-handed hitter. Try to pull a ball to move the runner over. I'm like, why would I do that when I think I can get a base hit? Well, let's get this guy to third. And you realize, once you get into professional ball, runs are at a premium and how important that is. But I really was clueless when I got drafted about the game of baseball.
Thank you.
You can always learn.
Yep.
for these kids from Italy trying to learn a brand new game. There's just not a lot of baseball history in that great country, great sports country too.
Yeah. Again, I think they're, you know, I think the upside, if they don't win this game and they're, you know, 2 and out here in Williamsport, but I think just, you know, watching them play, you can tell that the learning process is really getting there. The fundamentals are there. You know, and you mentioned the coach who wants to have that, has that passion to try to build baseball in Italy, and I think, you know, they're off to a really, really good start.
Hard hit up the middle, and a base hit for Fabian Mar, who's really had a nice game. So a leadoff single for Mexico. Let's welcome in Marisol Castro again for a little more on that Italian baseball program.
That's right, Dave. You know, in talking to the coaches before the game, they understand how important it is to be here on the international stage. They know they play second fiddle to other sports like soccer. They're hoping that their appearance in this Little League World Series will bring them more attention and hopefully more funding for the Federation back at home, because it's still a very young sport. But despite that, these boys really love playing.
And I think we've seen that this whole Little League World Series long. The Italians are going to make a pitching change, so Gambarini will leave the mound. And we'll see a new pitcher. But yeah, the funding's a big part of it. Even just something as simple as, hey, these games are televised back home.
Yeah.
Other kids watching these kids play on these beautiful fields at 8, 9 years old, thinking, hey, I want to do that.
Yeah, and that's how it grows. You know, you watch these kids play and you watch them competing against, you know, some of the best Little League talent in the world. And you know, if you're a kid, you have to think, you know, gosh, I want to do that someday. I want to be able to be a part of that. And it could draw more kids into making that decision of, you know, baseball, soccer. And, you know, the big thing you hear about, you know, talking to younger kids about why would you choose soccer over baseball? You know, the expense. You know, bats are expensive. You know, gloves are expensive. You know, soccer, it's, you know, basically soccer cleats, a ball, and shin guards, right? Uniforms provided for you, but you know, this is, it's, I think, to me, even if Italy doesn't win, this has to be an exciting time for youth baseball in the country of Italy, just because of what these kids have been able to do here.
Well, that's our hope. We're hoping to grow the game across the world. Alessandro Ercolani coming in to pitch, 12 years old. We've seen him at the plate a couple of times in the field. Now he's going to be the pitcher. He did get 2/3 of an inning of work in. Issued a couple walks against Australia a couple days ago. So he's got those Little League World Series butterflies out of the way.
But you can see that these kids watch baseball because the catcher, pitcher, both covering their mouths with their gloves.
Go back to Will Clark in the playoffs against Greg Maddux and the Cubs. That's a long time ago where that started. But you're right. That's a big league baseball kind of thing.
Yeah. But they're speaking Italian. I'm assuming that the kids from Mexico don't understand that.
Yeah, so do you need to?
I wouldn't think you would, but
force a habit. Ball one from Ercolani to Gael Cortez, who's been very impressive. He was a pitcher.
Enrique Iglesias' favorite singer.
Well, that entire team. It wasn't just Victor Juarez. It seemed like everybody liked to sing.
I think they should, you know, go on tour after this. Wow.
Is that number 2? It is. Off the scoreboard, or at least the pillar below the scoreboard. My goodness. A 2-home run day for Gael Cortez.
And not cheap ones. He hit 2 long ones, and that one there again. You can see the swing that he has. It's just a fundamentally sound. Look how he keeps his head on the ball. Look at the high finish, the rotation of the hips. Wow.
Really impressive. You know, and he didn't have a hit in their opening round loss to Panama, but we watched him play shortstop and thought he is a player. He made so many good plays at shortstop, and now we're seeing the swing. On the ground to third. Gambarini, who was just on the mound, shows off that pitcher's arm.
Tell you what, Gambarini's a good player.
He is.
You know, you can just, you know, watching this team from Italy, you can see that he's their most talented player. And you know, you watch him when he was pitching, he got frustrated. You know, that competitive fire going. And the thing you love about it, they're losing 6-1. They're 3 outs away from being eliminated, and he's still yelling at the outfielders how many outs there are. So he's still dialed into the game, which is fantastic.
Here's Luis Nuncio with 1 out. 2 runs in. And a hard hit ball just under the glove of Sartini. And I think that'll be a hit. He could have made the play, hit it very hard. Sartini's frustrated.
Yeah, that ball was hit pretty good.
And they did rule it as an error. That's Luis Nuncio. You mentioned his versatility. He swung the bat and hit it hard. He's caught, showed off his great arm, played right field, played first base.
I would have to think there's some pitching in his future too. With that arm?
Gotta think so. Victor Juarez. Victor has 2 hits and 3 at bats. And he's got another one. Yes, past the dive of Persici.
Let's see an inside to Parker here, Dave.
Juarez around second. Let's see. Coming to third. He gets the stop sign. He'll take the triple.
Looks like a little inside pitch. The inside outs at the right fielder. Persici tried to make the diving catch. It gets past him. You know, Nuncio was going to score easy. You just didn't know if there was going to be an inside to park homer. And you know, these are things that I observed doing the regional and doing this. You know, the things that kids are going to have to learn as they move up is base running. You know, you're always taught to hit the corner of the bag, push off the bag. But because these bases, for the safety of the players, are breakaway bags, you see a lot of kids have to step on top of the base. And eventually they're going to, you know, they're talented enough, they're going to figure it out. But, you know, when you're coaching kids that play on the bases that are stable, you know, you teach them to hit the corner, push off and all that. But, you know, these kids will figure that out. That's not a big deal. But you see a lot of them stepping on top of the bases. People want to know, well, why do they step on the base? You're supposed to step on the corner because it's a breakaway base.
Yeah.
And is afraid it's going to slip out from under if you don't step on top of it.
Well, Dave Fleming, John Kruk with you here in Williamsport. This is an elimination game on the international side. We've been breaking down some of the stuff the kids are learning, the impressive things we've seen. We're also seeing a team, and this happens in this event, John, where a team, Mexico, that did not play up to its high standards in their opening round game. Now we're seeing some confidence, some swings, and you never know. Look, they're going to stay alive with a win here. Let's see what happens with Mexico.
Well, and you see the depth of their pitching staff. They've used 3 pitchers already to get through 5 innings in this game. So, you know, the pitching's there, and there's some power arms. You know, you mentioned it. You know, at some point, some year, a team that loses their first game is going to end up winning this. You know, this team from Mexico, if they keep swinging the bats like this, the way they pitch and field, you know, they could be a tough out moving forward.
Yeah, it is going to happen. It hasn't happened 2001's when we went to this format, and you get a great advantage by winning that opening round game. No doubt about that. But Mexico, you got another team, Japan, on the elimination side. Even Curacao, we'll see them later today. With a lot of talented kids. California over on the U.S. side, a team we thought would be a favorite coming in.
I don't think anyone coming into this tournament would ever think that Japan and Curacao, one of them's going to go home after 2 games.
Yep.
Or one of them's going to be eliminated after 2.
Yep, and that will be the case. By the way, big leaguers on ESPN. Sunday Night Baseball tomorrow night from San Francisco. The Giants hosting the Mets at 8 Eastern. Our coverage is going to begin baseball tonight with our Sunday night countdown at 7 Eastern, and Adnan, Dallas, Tim Kirchin from right here in Williamsport.
It's quite the trifecta.
So they'll be breaking it down, getting ready for Giants and Mets. There's a Giants fan.
How beautiful is that ballpark out there?
It is a great place to call home.
Yeah, that is special. I love that ballpark. I think if I went to actually watch a game and not announce or whatever, I think I would want to sit in the second level so you can see out to McCovey Cove, see all the boats and the kayakers. It's just such a beautiful sight.
Yeah, and it's different here, Federico Tiburtini, but it's the same kind of idea where we get to sit up high in these two beautiful ballparks in Williamsport, and you see the fans, you see the mountains, the hills.
The atmosphere there around the ballpark, it's like a festival every game.
1-2. And the question for those teams, and look, the Giants are back in first place in a tight battle with the Dodgers out west. Can the Mets, do they have enough time to salvage their year? So much has gone wrong for them. There we are. Up above. Great spot. Curveball. And Tiburtini gets the strikeout, 2 down.
The little man came in and got him a big strikeout to get this second out. Keep the runner on third from scoring, but look at that hook. Look at the spin. That's what you call that's a typical 12-6 over the top, downward spin on that ball. And great pitch.
I like this kid. You know, he had a really good at bat, hit the ball hard, didn't get a hit out of it. He's one of the littlest kids in Williamsport.
Battler, though.
He's got some spunk.
Like Kirkjian. Spunky.
It was nice to have Tim with us for
8 innings.
A little longer than
he
we expected.
He wouldn't leave. He's like a guest you just can't get rid of.
Yeah. Oh, I got an early morning tomorrow. How many hints can you drop?
Getting tired. Yeah, let's talk some more. Get out. No, he's great though. His passion for the game of baseball, I think, is unequaled.
And you know, you guys who cover the big league game, and the two of you are great examples of this. And then you get to come here to Williamsport. Fun for us to see you react to this event. 1-2.
Well, I think because, you know, we all played Little League, but none of us, as far as the announcers, have ever been here to play. We weren't. Our teams are either didn't have tournaments or teams weren't good enough to get here. So to watch these kids, though, how much better they get every year.
Yeah.
How much more, you know, how much bigger the kids are getting, but you know how much more fundamentally sound they are.
2 strikes.
Their knowledge of the game is growing.
Federico locked in on the mound. Wow, that was close. They set that target outside, and the pitch was a lot closer to the zone than the target.
2 strikes.
Yeah, when the catcher has to set outside and reach across his body to get it, and it's still a ball, might have been setting out a little far.
Oh man, that was a good looking pitch, and Federico can't believe it.
You're going to make this. Doesn't throw hard, got a good breaking ball, but if you're going to make him have to throw it over the center of the plate.
Yeah, he's had a minute to think about that one. Keep doing what you're doing.
Catcher went out to tell the infielders, you know, first and third, if he runs, here's what we're doing.
So here's Garcia, liner over the reach of the shortstop, and that's a run. 8-1 Mexico. He's had a heck of a game. Eduardo Garcia, we've seen him make a couple of really nice plays defensively at second. He was the one who came over and cut behind on the timing play at first where they tried to pick off a runner. Now he's knocked in a run with a hit.
Pretty full day.
Yeah.
Look at the smile, though. That's what you play for right there as a youngster. Now you cheer on your teammates. Hope you get to score a run for someone.
Raul Lopez. And that's a hit. Get the stop sign at third. The throw comes in toward home plate. Bases loaded with 2 down.
It's a big confidence thing for this team from Mexico. You mentioned yesterday only 2 hits, and besides Victor Juarez, no one else got a hit. So they're starting to open it up a little bit here offensively. Everyone's getting a chance. Everyone's putting good swings on it. So next game they should be ready to go.
Well, you said that right from the start, where a big key for Mexico here today would be get everybody involved, and that's been the case.
Yeah, they're getting hits and multi-hits from a lot of different players.
So this kid's had a great day. 2 for 3, a triple, a single, scored 2 runs, knocked in a run.
That ball he hit for the triple, that thing got past the outfielders in a hurry, and it was a line drive that was in the infield.
He hits that one to right center field, a diving attempt. Now the runner at second, I think, missed the bag, so he's got a hold. That's Lopez, but 2 runs come in to score. And Fabian Mar's thinking, how is that not more than a single?
He was. Uh-oh, I got an injured player.
Yeah, great effort. I think that's Persici.
I wonder if he just knocked the wind out of himself.
Could be. I didn't think he had a chance, and then at the last minute I thought, man, he might actually catch this thing.
He looked like Mookie Betts closing ground. He really, I mean, that is close. I mean, he closed ground. He leaves his feet. Looked like it might have hit the end of his glove, but you know, he landed. Hopefully, it's just he got the wind knocked out of him, and he's going to be fine.
Yeah, nothing more he could have done. So another hit. Fabian Mar has 3 hits now. And another run batted in for him. It's 10-1 Mexico. And I think he will be okay, but they're just making sure. Gabriel Persici. Well, this is just the first of 4 games from Williamsport, and they are starting to get ready now up the hill at Lamedy, and not too much more time to wait. 3 Eastern over on ABC here on this Saturday. Oregon and Rhode Island. That is an elimination game on the U.S. side. And that'll be game number 2. Then Crucky and I will be back here. You'll be with me, won't you?
Yes.
Right? 6 Eastern on ESPN, Japan at Curacao. And we can't wait for that one. Yeah, by the way, we're going to have a special delivery during the game.
I heard.
We've got a little hot dog delivery lined up.
I don't think it's going to curtail me from having a big lunch, but.
Okay. Yeah. Don't need to save a little room. And then California, Texas elimination game.
Oh,
8 Eastern.
Lucky there.
And now this is torturing us. Not that we're rooting for the final 4 outs of this game, but
we'll have to have a little conversation with Gus, our producer, when this one's over about that. Little hot dog,
taunting,
French fry. Yeah, it's taunting.
Throw the penalty flag.
Yeah, he should get suspended for a game.
Another pitching change for Italy, just trying to get the final out here.
But you know, it's also not only to get the final out, but you know, you're giving these kids the experience. Like these kids are probably, on their different teams, they're probably all pitchers or whatever. So, and that's a hard thing when you get here. My kid might not get the pitch; he's a pitcher, but this is great. Yes, they're losing 10-1. Really good chance that they're not going to score 9 or. To tie this game and to send it in extra innings. So, hey, these kids pitch, let them pitch. They're in Williamsport.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. And Marco Bortolotti, who's the impressive young manager of this team from Emilia, Italy, his message there was basically that, hey, we got nothing to lose. We want you to have fun, finish this inning out. Keep playing hard. They get a catcher to help warm up. They've done some defensive switching, so we're going to have a new catcher actually in the game. So we need a moment to get the right equipment.
Sometimes when you're coaching young kids, it's easier to coach a game when you're losing by a lot than it is if it's a close game. Because if you're losing by a lot, I've done it before. Like, where do you want to play? Maybe right. I think I would play right. Go play right field then. Go ahead. And that makes it enjoyable for the kid that they're getting to pick where they want to play. But close games. It gets a little more difficult to get kids in where their normal position might be.
Filippo Laghi will be the new pitcher for Italy. I think it's a good point you make. Give him a chance to get up there on the mound, see what it feels like to pitch in the Little League World Series.
See who's catching too. Yeah, we talked about Nunzio and his versatility.
Samuel Gambarini, he's been everywhere.
2 hits, pitched, played third. Now he's catching.
And we'll see him hit in the bottom of this 6th inning, so he'll get at least one more at bat in this game. And hey, welcome to the game, Filippo. And guess who you get to face? The kid who's hit 2 long home runs already.
Real long ones.
Gael Cortez. Very impressive performance by him.
Hit the scoreboard out there.
He did. He hit the bottom of the scoreboard. 2 on, 2 out in the 6th. Mexico has opened this game up with a 6-run inning, and he gets hit in the helmet. Yikes.
Hang out right here, right? Stay right here for a minute.
I think he's all right, but they want to just make sure. And obviously that is not on purpose.
No. It knocked off of, I mean, this is what the scary part. You know, but look, he turns correctly, so it hits him more in the side or the back of the head. But, I mean, that hit him so hard, it knocked off a piece of his helmet.
Yeah, it scares you a little bit. Look, in sports, we've done a much better job here of late paying attention to head injuries, concussions. Those are those specially designed helmets that are supposed to absorb more of the force of a blow and help in that regard.
Yeah, I think he's going to stay in the game, and they're going to get him another helmet.
Yeah, one of those little vent pieces of plastic popped off.
The thing is, it's so critical when you're teaching young kids when they're first learning how to play, is you teach them how to hit, but you also have to teach them how to get hit by a pitch. There's a certain way, and he did it perfectly. You know, you turn toward the catcher, you don't open up. And you know, I hate to use this as an example, but Giancarlo Stanton, when he got hit by Mike Fiers a couple years ago, Giancarlo turned in because he was, you know, anticipating inside pitch, so he turned in, and it opened him up. You know, opens up his face to get hit by the ball. You know, always taught to turn toward the catcher and roll. So, you know, let it hit you. If it's going to hit you in the head, hit in the back of the head, or you know, in your back, not in your chest or your face.
Bases loaded, and a ball hit to center field and not caught. But out at second on the throw. How about that? So Sema Borawi could make the catch. He threw back into the tag, maybe right in the face of Jose Leal. Hopefully he's all right.
Boy, you hope.
A painful inning all the way around. Yeah, I hope so. Before we go away, let's see if we can see what happened. I mean, it was a good play by Borawi.
Yeah, you see the throw, the jump by Tibertini, and then it looked like he just tagged him in the face.
Yeah. Again, nothing malicious at all.
You know, you wonder if his head hit the ground too.
Could be. 1 run scored on that play, so Mexico has a 10-run lead with 3 outs to go to move on and stave off elimination in this Little League World Series. Last chance for Italy when we come back after this.
Little League World Series is presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes cereal. They're great.
All right, now that's a pretty cool way to come down the hill. They get creative here in Williamsport. 12-1 Mexico. Bottom of the 6th. Last chance for Italy in an elimination game has been very impressive from the team from San Nicolas, Nuevo Leon, Mexico. And they will stay alive. They will meet the loser of South Korea, Canada, a game that happens tomorrow on the winner's side in the international bracket.
Like young man that pitched for Korea yesterday, will he be able to pitch in that game?
The second pitcher of that game will be able to. I don't believe that the starter. We'll go through all that. Because
that's some
the kid
down
came
under
in,
nasty stuff.
You're right. The starter for South Korea had that sidearm sort of arm angle changing delivery with the breaking stuff. The reliever was just a big kid who threw very hard.
A little delay here. The team from Mexico neglected to put a right fielder out there. So
we do need a right fielder.
Of course, you know, who goes out there? Nuncio.
He'll do it all. 12-1. Even with an 11-run lead, I think you need to play with a right fielder.
I think those are the rules.
Trevino at first base. There's Eduardo Garcia. He's had a heck of a day at second. And did Trevino bring the wrong glove? Okay. Oh, now, so I see. So there's a technicality in the rules about the injury, and the other manager essentially getting to pick. And hopefully, just in the spirit of good sportsmanship, Marco Bortolotti will just say, yeah, well, Trevino is coming out to play. Let him play. Marco does speak English. But I would think there would not be a problem with whoever they want to put in the game. And I think that's what he's done. That thumbs up. Hey, whoever they want to put over there, that's good by me. I give my approval. I mean, we have the rules in place for a reason. This is not the spot where, you know, you figure you want to be a real well. So now let's see what's going on. So Diego count two.
And look where he's going.
He's going to right field.
And guess who's coming back into first?
Yeah.
Mr. Versatility.
Yeah. Well, I don't think there was anything sort of malicious about that discussion. I think Diego comes out. He'll play right field. Luis comes to first base. And here we go. Bottom of the sixth. Last chance for Italy. Simonioli with a good swing and a leadoff hit.
See how far away he is from home plate. Steps in a little bit. Catches that ball off the end of the bat, but perfect placement.
Well, here's the kid you've been impressed with, Samuel Gambarini. 2 for 2, has scored the only Italian run. Big, strong kid. He's been their answer for Luis Nuncio, where he's been willing to play all over the field.
And played him well.
Very well. Milton Gonzalez trying to get the final 3 outs on the mound for Mexico. So we will see whether this team from Mexico can use this as a catapult to having a real title chance. Different players, different Little League, but last year the team from Japan that looked so good in the Little League World Series championship game and won that championship game. I mean, Mexico played Japan, that same team, in the international championship game. It was a 1-0 final, very hard fought, tight game. I mean, again, it's a different team here this year, but we know that Mexico over the years has been very competitive.
Yeah, and surprisingly, Japan, who's just a
hard hit ball to third and knocked down. The throw is late and high. Gambarini, who loves to run the bases, will take off for second. That was a smash. Victor Juarez just knocked it down.
Yeah, Gambarini gets in front of this one. Look how deep the third baseman's playing too. Victor Juarez, he's playing out in the grass, and yeah, and that's something that I'm sure the coaches will talk to him about. You know, once you're playing that deep and you bobble the ball or you don't catch it cleanly, yeah, there's no use throwing it over to first base.
Yeah, you're not going to get him, and that ends up costing him 90 or 60 feet here in Little League. Here's Tommaso Adorni, chance to drive in some runs. Ball one. They did charge an error on that play.
On the throw, I hope. I hope they gave him a hit and then the throw.
I hope so.
It's 3 hits. Pretty good day.
Off the glove. Garcia bare hand. Good attempt. Not in time. Run scores. Charging a pitcher with an error?
I would hope not. Wow. They rarely do they?
Apparently they did. That is tough.
I've never seen a pitcher get charged with error on plays like that. But that happens. But if you're the team from the coaching staff for Italy, you got to be very, very impressed with the way these kids are still battling.
And that was the message. Hey, we got nothing to lose. Let's play this game out. See what happens. Here's Gabriele Persici, who took that dive in the outfield, kind of had the wind knocked out of him. And stayed in the game. 1-1 to him. He had a hit his first time up today.
We're in tune to that big bumblebee that's flying around in our booth.
Yeah, we have a visitor. It's not Tim Kirkchin.
This bumblebee might have been bigger.
1-1. In the dirt. Good stop by Raul Lopez, the catcher. Well, Mexico trying to figure out a way to get these final 3 outs. Italy has scored a run. That's a curveball for a strike. Curveball, slider, breaking ball.
Without question, that's been his best pitch since he's entered this game.
You spotted it when he was throwing his warm-ups. So it's 2-2 to Gabriele Persici. Hit hard to left field. Off the bottom of the wall. 1 run is in. Second and third after the double.
Wow.
Almost the first home run for Italy here in Williamsport.
Yeah, you got to love it. Young man lays out. Great effort in the outfield. I feel like he might have got the wind knocked out of him, and he comes back very next half inning and just missed a home run by about 4 feet.
He was watching it. He knew he hit it well.
Yeah, he was. Look at him. Like, okay. 12-3. That's still pretty happy about this deal.
Yeah. Well, you never know. Get a hit here. Keep the line moving. Ilya Sartini gets hit. The bases are loaded.
Coaches from Mexico are probably sitting there thinking, thank goodness we scored a bunch of runs last inning.
Well, this game would be feeling a lot different. They got 8 runs on the board in the top of this 6th. This would be a 1-run game without those. The winner plays the loser of Canada, South Korea, Monday, 1 Eastern, right here on ESPN. The loser is eliminated from title contention. So Mexico, you feel like they're still in a great position here. 3 outs to go.
The big boy from Canada can't pitch, can he?
He cannot.
Well, that was impressive.
Big time. Foul ball. Pretty good swing by Federico Tibertini. This is the kid we saw on the mound, and he showed some competitiveness on the mound. He's 0 for 1, but he had a real good at bat his first time up. Hit the ball hard.
Nickname of T-Boo.
Like it. Hey, he hit it hard again with the bases full. See what happens. He gives you a good at bat. Hits that one on the ground toward first. Nunzio will take the out. A run comes in to score. It's 12-4.
Tell you what, that's a really smart play by Nunzio. With his arm, he wanted to throw it to some base with the bases loaded, but smart play. You got a big lead. Let the run score, but let's get an out. Outs now are more important than anything else for this team from Mexico.
So 2 outs away from a win. Ercolani, Alessandro Ercolani at the plate. This has to feel good for Italy in their history. They've been here a few times as a country, sent several other Little League teams to Williamsport, but the offense has always been tough for their teams. They didn't get a hit in the first 5 innings of their opener, so this is a nice offensive performance against a good team.
Yeah, and as a growing baseball country like they're trying to build over in Italy, you know, that's going to be the last thing that comes. You know, you can get kids who can throw the ball, you're going to find kids that can catch it, and you know, you can teach them where to go, but you know, teaching hitting is probably the hardest thing you can teach young kids.
Here we go.
2-0 the count. Ercolani sort of a closed stance. He gets pretty close to home plate. Strike one.
Two balls, one strike. That's an illegal pitch. That's a ball to the batter. Three balls, one strike.
Looked like Milton Gonzalez got his sign, started to go, and stopped and stepped off.
Right.
So that's an illegal pitch as it's described here in Little League. 3-2.
You think you step up there? Okay, 2-1. Now it's 3-1 without him throwing another pitch. I think he set on something. He throws him a 3-1 breaking ball.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a 3-2 breaking ball.
Seems to be his go-to, doesn't it?
That's what he threw. A bouncer to second, and a weird hop went right by Garcia. 1 run home. Here comes the throw. It'll be cut off in front of the plate by the catcher, and Lopez's throw goes into center field. Over to third, and Ercolani will hold on there. It's 12-6. Still only 1 out. Well, you never know.
Again, you know, you put the ball in play, anything can happen, and that's a ball. Yeah, that's the hardest thing. Another hard thing to teach kids is to charge a ground ball like that, get it on the short hop. Second baseman Garcia backed up, and then it became just, you know, one overthrow after another.
Well, you wonder whether those kids are thinking, hey, wait a minute. We got 5 on the board. They started down 11. Who knows? Still got 2 outs to play with. There were a few errors charged in that sequence, and that one is hit down the first base side foul by Giannoni.
You recall how this game has played out. Starting pitcher, 2-0 game. The coach from Mexico decided, let's take him out, and they've used he's their 3rd pitcher, so you've already probably burned up 2 of your better pitchers that they can't re-enter. Once you take the pitcher out, they can't come back in regardless if they have pitches or not.
Dribbler first base side, and that's not an easy play. They didn't get the out there.
Well, they got him at second, though.
Yeah, he should have stayed put. That is a big second out. The run comes in to score, but I think Tommaso Giannoni knows just stay at first base. It's 12-7, but for Mexico, they'll take that. Positive response.
Gotta love it. You gotta love it. Yeah, this. You know, and that's your first instinct as a runner. I don't care. You know, a lot of big league players do the same thing. Once they see the ball go past, I mean, look how far he is, almost, you know, out in shallow right field to try to make that turn. And you know, he'll understand. Look, it's 12-7. Your run means nothing. We need, you know, station to station baseball here. We can't give him an out. Kind of knew with that arm of Nunzio, though, he was probably thinking, hey, here we go.
You got a chance to throw somewhere. You're right about that.
Tell you what, I watch his movements. Been watching. He's Manny Machado through and through. The way he walks, the way he carries his body language.
It's the most runs Italy, by the way, has ever scored in their Little League World Series history.
Good for them.
Big positive for their game today.
Yeah, I mentioned yesterday when the team we were doing last night had 8 errors in the game, and You know, has a team ever had, when they had 7? I say, have they ever had 7 errors and has any team ever had 7 errors and won? Mexico has 6 right now, and they're winning 12-7.
Several of those. How many of those have come here in the 6th inning?
I think they had 5 or 6 on that one play.
3 balls.
They had 2 on that one play, right?
Yeah, 5 out of the 6 errors for Mexico have come in this 6th inning. So they have helped Italy out. 3 balls, no strikes, the count to Borawi. That's a strike.
Three balls, 1 strike.
We got the top of the order up next. That's the group that got it all started. So who knows if Osema Borawi can get on base. It's 3-2. So now they're down to their final strike.
Curveball.
Now let's see. Does he throw the curve? Little jam shot and caught. Fitting way for it to end. Luis Nuncio, one of the stars. And that is the final out. Mexico survives in an elimination game, and they beat Italy 12-7. And hopefully Luis Nuncio is all right. Well, Italy showed a lot of fight. It's a team and a country that's still learning about this great game. They come up short. They will have one more game to play, but Mexico, Crucky, can they be a factor still in this tournament?
Yes, they can, because it looks like the bats are starting to pick up. Besides that last inning, they were pretty solid defensively, and you saw the 2 kids who pitched to start this game for Mexico, the first and second pitch. They had some pretty good arms, so absolutely they can contend.
And get Gael Cortez a few more at bats. He hit 2 home runs for Mexico in this one. So that's it for us here for now from Williamsport. For John Kruk, for Marisol Castro, I'm Dave Fleming saying so long now. It's time for New York City FC against the LA Galaxy.
This is Little League World Series with the brand new sound.
We started up, we never let it stop. Keep it going. Yeah, you know how we do it. Summer forever. It's the sunshine shining down on your face. It's the good times that don't go away. So come on, there's nothing better. I want summer forever. Let's keep it going now. I wish that it could be summer forever.
Just getting underway. The Little League World Series.